Chapter 163, Drastic Change, 2. How did it come to this? Deputy CO, do you see that? My goodness, there's a fireball floating through the sky. I'm sitting on the deck, looking at Kim Yun, who is chattering away beside me. After receiving the order from Azure Tiger Saint, I am currently on a flying ship from Azure Cold Island, headed towards the entrance of the Devil Realm with Kim Yun. The Devil Realm. I had heard about it. According to what I've heard, there was a great war 40,000 years ago called the Bright Devil Great War, between the Bright Cold Realm and the True Devil Realm. In the Bright Devil Great War, the True Devil Realm was defeated by the Bright Cold Realm, and afterwards, it was said that the True Devil Realm had to cede some of its territories as colonies to various races of the Bright Cold Realm. It was said that these races from the Bright Cold Realm would bring resources from these colonies in the Devil Realm to cultivate devilish arts for their cultivators. Especially, the human race would buy devils from the Devil Realm as slaves and grind them into a pill called Devil Origin Pill, which was sought after by many races not only for reaching the nascent soul stage, but also for cultivating in the nascent soul stage itself. However, the human race, which made the pills, only provided a little rear support during the Bright Devil Great War and could not get a share of the colonies when they were distributed. As a result, it seemed that the Human Race Grand Alliance decided to use the previous incident as an excuse to invade the Devil Realm and create colonies. Is participating the right thing to do? Even though the reason is to protect Yun, I feel uneasy. Deputy CO? Deputy CO, while I'm contemplating, Kim Yun came in front of me and asked, what did you say? Oh, I was just saying how astonishing the scenery is, but you were spacing out, so I wondered if you felt sick. I'm not sick, just had something on my mind. I see. Actually, I heard it from Chief O. Kim Yun brushes her hair back with a bitter expression. You've lost your memory? Yeah, I only remember bits and pieces, barely anything concrete. She sits down next to me, and together we look at the majestic landscapes of the Bright Cold Realm passing by. Deputy, no, Unhyun Appa. I've talked about it with Chief Hyun-suk, but how about this? Kim Yun looks at me and begins to speak. We'll tell you about what happened at the company, the things we remember about you. Unhyun Appa. Not that I know everything about Appa, but I can tell you about my memories of you. Before that, I ask her, feeling a bit embarrassed. First, can you explain to me which world we came from? And then, her explanation continued. I see. So, I was born in such a country. I absorbed the history of our country and the world history that Kim Yun explained to me into my mind. Earth. So, I come from such a planet. To us, who come from Earth, this world seems a bit nonsensical. Something about the world being flat and all that. And that's not to mention the complete lack of proper human rights. It seems our homeland did have something called human rights. Well, not the entire Earth, but the country we lived in was more or less like that. At least it wasn't a place where people openly turned humans into puppets or where monsters that eat people existed. She caresses her arm. Her arm, which had been modified, reverted back to its original flesh and blood state. She removed the puppet arm and regrew it. Though she was dumbfounded by this absurd treatment, her arm regenerated a few days ago. Well, that's roughly the history of our world and our country. Do you remember any of it? I don't really remember much, sorry. That's okay. Anyway, can I explain about you? Unhyun Appa. Sure. She begins to slowly describe me. A person who supported her as a senior, who almost unconditionally helped with difficult tasks, who would patiently revise all the documents she messed up without showing a hint of annoyance. A person who, despite occasionally being scolded by superiors, never passed that frustration onto his subordinates. Someone who might seem foolish at times, but nonetheless stubbornly and reliably completed his assigned tasks. A person who liked quince flowers among flowers and kimbap among foods. This person, that person, such a person. That was me. Her descriptions leaned heavily towards positive aspects. It seemed that her fondness for me had somehow made all the negative impressions fly away. In any case, thanks to her, I was able to get a rough idea of what kind of person I was. So, the CO Unhyun before regression was that kind of person. Sadly, nothing more comes to mind. No memories surfaced. As if the pieces of memory themselves had been torn away. For several days, she stayed by my side, telling me about the times before we came to this world, and Oh Hyun-suk also joined in to share his memories of me. Thus, as we flew on the ship, we spent days talking about what kind of person I had been. The flying ship from Azure Cold Island has arrived at the entrance to the Devil Realm. Everyone, please disembark. The voice of the flying ship's captain echoed throughout the ship. Wow, it feels like it's been almost a month since we last touched land. Indeed. Oh Hyun-suk and Kim Yun spoke as they stepped onto land. I too savor the feel of the earth under my feet for the first time in a while as I look around. This is the entrance to the Devil Realm. Hush, a black fog-like substance is swirling in the wind, coming towards us. Wriggle, wriggle. Reddish tendrils are creating a massive crack in the air, maintaining a gap in space. It looks like the tendrils themselves are interfering with the space to create a hole. The hole created by the tendrils is wide enough to be about 5 li in radius, with thick black fog-like substances densely packed beyond it. It's called the devouring space grass, lent to us by the blood shark race. It's one of the blood shark race's treasures capable of creating holes in the void to pierce through dimensions. As we are gazing dumbfoundedly at the gigantic tendrils, a man in a black robe approaches us. I thank you for sending reinforcements from Azure Cold Island to the Devil Realm Expedition Force. The man in the black robe looks around at us and the people who just disembarked behind. From Azure Heaven Creation Sect, 202 disciples besides me, Oh Hyun-suk and Kim Yun. From other sects on Azure Cold Island, a total of 1,024 disciples were sent, making a total of 1,229 people sent by Azure Cold Island to the Devil Realm Expedition Force. The representative sect of Azure Cold Island was West Spirit Gate, was it? It has changed to Azure Heaven Creation Sect. When I visited 200 years ago, it was West Spirit Gate. It seems it has changed since then. Well, anyway, glad you could come. I am Hyan Woon, the chief advisor of the expedition force. I come from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect of Black Scale Island. I'm looking forward to working with you. Pleased to meet you. I am Oh Hyun-suk, direct disciple of the founder of Azure Heaven Creation Sect, the representative sect of Azure Cold Island. Likewise, I am Seo Eun-hyun, also a direct disciple. We each greet Hyan Woon, who then informs us of where we will be going. First, inside that spatial rift you see in front of you. That pitch-black fog is protecting the dimensional barrier of the true Devil Realm. Our mission is to break through the barrier protecting the true Devil Realm, enter the interior of the true Devil Realm, and erode its inner regions with the spiritual energy of the bright cold realm. Wawoon. Hyan Woon shows us a brightly shining golden jade orb. With this vast cold jade, go to the Devil Realm, find the Devil Veins, plant the vast cold jade, and deploy the formation. Gradually, the vast cold jade will contaminate the Devil Veins with spiritual energy, converting them. The places where the vast cold jade is buried will soon be transformed into areas where the spiritual energy of the bright cold realm flows, just like our realm. Our main mission is to gradually erode the true Devil Realm, creating regions for the follow-up teams to operate. I see. Wawoon. I nod as I look at the brightly shining golden jade orb. The golden jade orb illuminates brilliantly, stabilizing the surrounding spiritual energy and slowly enhances cultivation just by looking at it. Such a tremendous treasure. Of course, the cultivation enhancement effect seems to only work on someone at the core formation stage like me, and not much on those nascent soul stage and above. For now, until all the other expedition teams arrive, everyone should stand on the formation in front of the dimensional barrier and work on breaking through the dimensional barrier. There's nothing special to it, just stand on the formation, supply it with spiritual power, and the formation will do the rest. Yes, thank you for the explanation. We listen to Hyan Woon's explanation and climb onto the respective parts of the formation in front of the dimensional rift. Well, since it'll be several months before the dimensional barrier is breached and the expedition starts, I should recover the cultivation that fell to the late stage of core formation. During my escape from the Mad Lord, I used my cultivation foundation to power the flying escape technique, causing my cultivation to drop a level. My cultivation had reached the stage of grand perfection of core formation but had fallen to the late stage, so it's a good opportunity to recover it. As I stand on the formation, supplying a bit of spiritual power and absorbing the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy through my cultivation methods, someone approaches me. Are you a disciple of the Azure Heaven Creation Sect? Someone seems to recognize me. He's a young boy wearing a golden robe, with his left hair white and his right hair black, a peculiar hairstyle. Do you know who I am? Not personally. I am a disciple of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect. I volunteered for this Devil Realm expedition. I heard that the Azure Heaven Creation Sect is also from the same head realm. From his words, it seemed he wasn't directly ascended from the head realm, but rather a newly recruited disciple from where the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect is based. I just wanted to say let's get along as fellow core formation cultivators. Well, there's no harm in being friendly. My name is Seo Eun-hyun. So it's Cultivator Seo. I am Yun Jin, Abyssal Quake. You can just call me Yun whatever you want. As I start talking to Yun Jin, I suddenly remember something. Does your sect, by any chance, have someone named John Myung-hoon? Are you talking about the direct disciple of the Supreme Sect Master? Yes, Senior Brother John is quite famous in our sect. He has mastered all the techniques of our founding ancestor and is already looking beyond the nascent soul stage. Senior Brother John is truly amazing. All the elders in our sect are praising him, saying that in another 100 to 200 years, Perhaps there will be another integration stage cultivator in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. He's an unparalleled talent compared to someone like me. Yunjin seems to admire John Myung-hoon, his eyes sparkling. If I may ask, how old are you, Cultivator Yun? I am already 90 this year. 90? You're young. Reaching the mid-stage of core formation at that age means you're quite talented. Why are you so disheartened? Haha, talented. Yunjin looks at the ground with a bitter gaze. In the bright cold realm, reaching the chi building stage is something anyone can achieve with a certain age, and anyone with a bit of enlightenment can reach the core formation stage as well. But that's as far as it goes. From the nascent soul stage onwards, it's a domain of absolute talent. Those without talent cannot reach it even if they use up all the lifespan gained from the core formation stage. I was fortunate to enter the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and reach the mid-stage of core formation from the chi building stage. But it seems that might be my limit. No matter how many elixirs I consume or how much I seclude myself for cultivation, the progress of my cultivation is slow, and I doubt whether I can reach the grand perfection of core formation in this lifetime. He speaks with a bittersweet smile, looking at me. It seems you've achieved a high level of cultivation in the late stage of core formation, Cultivator CO. Reaching the nascent soul stage in this lifetime shouldn't be difficult for you. I'm truly envious. Well, you know, it took me more than 2,000 years to reach this point. But I don't bother to mention that, and instead offer Yunjin some encouragement. I may look younger than I am, but regardless, grinding your teeth and persisting in cultivation will not betray you. Cultivator Yunjin, you mentioned you are 90 years old, but reaching the mid-stage of core formation before 100 is indeed a sign of blessed talent. Don't be too disheartened, and it will be good to continue your diligent practice. Touched by my words, Yunjin looks at me with moved intent. Thank you, Cultivator CO. Hearing those words, somehow, I feel energized. Haha, I'm glad to be of help. As we exchange some encouraging words, I continued to practice my cultivation method slowly. As a result, I was able to regain the level of grand perfection of core formation within a month. No, Cultivator CO, to reach the grand perfection of core formation in just 1 month. How on earth? Well, this is... Of course, I had a bit of trouble clearing up Yunjin's misunderstanding. Anyway, I've reached the pinnacle of core formation and have gained enough enlightenment over 2,000 years. The Devil Realm Expedition Force hasn't fully assembled yet, and the formation to breach the dimensional barrier hasn't been completed, so there's still time before we depart. With plenty of time and being above the formation for breaching the Devil Realm barrier, it's relatively safe with the surroundings being guarded. I decide to take this opportunity to aim for the nascent soul stage. I've lived for 2,000 years and have gradually grasped an understanding of planes with the formless sword. Enlightenment isn't something to be underestimated. So, before we depart for the Devil Realm, shall I attain nascent soul? Sitting on the formation, I settle my energy and close my eyes. Translator notes. Donated chapter are all done. Donated chapter by Mortar. Thanks for the support. Chapter 164, Drastic Change, 3. The height of water is called the water level. Then, if there is also a height to dimensions, what should it be called? The term created from such contemplation is precisely plain. There is indeed a hierarchy within dimensions. If one recalls the sensation of handling the formless sword, our material world belongs to a lower plane, and as one ascends to higher planes, one can encounter metaphysical essences. Those who have reached the stage of nascent soul can distinguish the planes based on the height of dimensions. When I fought against Yuan Li, and when I fought against other nascent soul cultivators, sometimes they launch attacks that core formation cultivators cannot even perceive with their consciousness, and the principle that allows them to split space and teleport originates from the sense of distinguishing planes. If one from a higher plane splits the space of a lower plane to attack, or attacks from a higher to a lower plane, then cultivators of lower planes cannot possibly oppose them. Of course, like Oh Hyun-suk, if one simply concentrates power brutishly, it can be effective even against higher planes, but fundamentally, the reason nascent soul cultivators overwhelm core formation cultivators is because of such planes. TSTSTSTS. For 1,000 years, I have handled the circuits of the Mad Lord. The Mad Lord's circuit itself contains the principle of condensing power to ascend to higher planes. Moreover, by using the formless sword that transcends planes, I have somewhat grasped the essence of higher planes. So now, gather chi, vital force, and cultivate the soul towards the higher plane. Focusing my consciousness and soul essence at the center of my golden core, I begin to connect to a higher plane using the formless sword. I'm not revealing the formless sword for attack, but harboring it within to reach a higher plane, so there's no worry of being discovered. I continue to concentrate my consciousness at the center of the golden core, compressing power. Inside the golden core, the spiritual energy converges to its apex, striving to leap towards an even higher plane. And that moment came. Suddenly, while contemplating in the center of the golden core, I feel as if my will and chi are intertwining. Is this nascent soul? As consciousness and spiritual energy mix, I suddenly feel a great yin and yang circulating within me. TSTSTS. Tai Chi. Tai Chi, in turn, history. Beyond the spiral drawn by Tai Chi, I see a certain scene. It's the history of a person named Seo Eunhyun. This is it. The thing Oh Hyun-suk talked about, the passing flashback. Starting from my memories of this moment, like descending into the abyss of forgotten time, I contemplate the history of me. Spiritual power flows backward, illuminating the past. TSTSTSTS. The time a few months ago, before riding the flying ship, when I was told by Azure Tiger Saint to visit the Devil Realm. The time before that, when I arrived in the human territory with Kim Yun. The moment before that, when I was being chased by the Mad Lord. Even before that, when my head exploded because of Oh Hyun-suk. The time before, when I was sparring with Oh Hyun-suk. The moment when I just returned and chose the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Facing the Mad Lord's play, kissing Yun, and dying from the strike sent by Seo Huiol. The time trapped as a puppet. The memories I clearly remember are slow and vivid, whereas those I vaguely recall pass by very quickly. And finally, traversing through my memories, I reach the domain where my memories have sunk. These are the memories I have lost. And the memories I have forgotten about Earth are... No, too fast. The memories of the era I have forgotten fly past me too swiftly to even recognize. No, I need to see this memory. I struggle within my heart essence to see the memories I've forgotten. And then, at that moment, cough, I spit out blood with my mouth open. Cough, cough, heart demon. It's the price for paying too much attention to something else in the process of rising to the nascent soul stage. Cough, cough. I bleed profusely from my mouth. FSSSS. Suddenly, the nascent soul that is about to form within me disperses, and the past scenes roaming in my mind disappear into the distance. Kook, damn it. Boom. I punch my head hard enough for it to explode. Cultivator CEO, Yun Jin, who is beside me, is shocked, but I think to myself as I slowly regenerate my head. By exploding my head, I prevented the heart demon from spreading further. But the breakthrough to reach the nascent soul stage ended. What's going on there? From afar, Hyan Woon flies over and asks me, who is regenerating my head? I regenerate my mouth first and respond. While challenging the nascent soul stage, a heart demon suddenly appeared, and I exploded my head to block it. What? Hyan Woon's expression twists at my words. Even if the invasion hasn't started yet, you proceeded with such a critical matter without reporting it to higher-ups, and you injured yourself, reducing our strength due to such a mistake. Swoosh. SSSSS. Hyan Woon launches an attack at me while I'm still regenerating my head. His attack cuts off my regenerating head, and he burns my neck to prevent it from regenerating further. Everyone listen. Hyan Woon's angry voice echoes in all directions. This person here attempted breakthrough to the nascent soul stage recklessly before the Devil Realms expedition force even set out, failed, and got injured by a heart demon. He proceeded without reporting this crucial fact to his superiors. Listen, everyone. For the army to move properly, for the war to proceed smoothly, communication between superiors and subordinates is vital. From now on, anyone who doesn't report and injures themselves by encountering a heart demon while attempting to cross a significant realm will be disciplined by military law. Here, Seo Eunhyun is ordered to go without a head until the expedition force conquers one region beyond the Devil Realms barrier. Suddenly, I'm punished by military law and have to remain headless for a while. See you, Cultivator Seo. Are you okay? Well, it's a bit inconvenient to only perceive my surroundings with consciousness since I don't have eyes, but it's not unbearable. Yun Jin, seeing me with the upper part of my neck gone, trembles and asks, doesn't it hurt? It seems you, Cultivator Yun, have never experienced losing your head. No. How many core formation cultivators typically have such an experience? I see. In the lower realms, it's common for core formation cultivators to lose their heads in fights, but it seems in the bright cold realm, such incidents are rare. Perhaps due to abundant resources, there were fewer reasons to fight. While I'm conversing with Yun Jin, Kim Yun and Oh Hyun-suk hurriedly fly over and are startled to see me without a head. Eunhyun appa. Seo Eunhyun. What on earth happened? It's nothing serious. I explained the incident that just occurred. No, but that's too harsh. No matter what, how can they just take away the ability to? Oh Hyun-suk coughs awkwardly and pats Kim Yun's shoulder. Well, usually, those at the core formation stage and above can live even if their necks are severed, so this method is commonly used when giving out ordinary punishments. But still, it means you can't regenerate, right? It seems fitting to receive a punishment for disrupting military discipline. Oh Hyun-suk clicks his tongue as if he doesn't understand my point. Still, it's a bit strange. Why weaken the strength of our own side before the war? After all, there are many others besides me at core formation and nascent soul stages. It's more important to use me as an example to straighten military discipline. Besides, it's not like they killed me, just severed one neck. I slowly soothe Oh Hyun-suk and Kim Yun, then change the subject. Anyway, I saw it while challenging the nascent soul stage. Wow, you saw it. Oh Hyun-suk smiles. How was it? Did you find your memories through that flashback experience? No. I attempted to shake my head, then realized I had no head to shake and waved my hand instead. As Hyung-nim knows, experiencing the flashback, blurry memories pass by too quickly to properly see. Not to mention memories I can't remember at all. In short, so you have to keep trying. Yes, the myriad of my memories visible before obtaining the nascent soul. Perhaps if I just ignored them and continued, I might have been able to reach the nascent soul stage. But I can't ignore them. That's probably why the heart demon acted. But still, I smile inwardly. Maybe I've found a way. Even if the heart demon acts, so what? I have found a glimmer of hope to retrieve my lost memories. What to do when the heart demon strikes? From now on, I'll challenge the nascent soul stage whenever there's an opportunity. I steadied my breath and thought, and I will review that flow of memories again and again. Thus, I will surely regain my memories. I resolved myself in this way. After several more months, the Expeditionary Forces personnel finally gathered. The energy of the formation has been raised to its peak. Kugugugugu. The formation shines with a golden light, and the energy of the formation bares its teeth towards the dark mist at the entrance to the Devil Realm. It won't be long now. I think to myself and look around through my consciousness. Everywhere in the formation, talents from various cultivation sects and human clans are sitting, supplying spiritual power to complete the formation. The personnel are of a different level compared to the sparse formation we encountered upon arrival. Perhaps after one or two groups arrive, the formation will be complete, and the expeditionary force will set out. The organization of the expeditionary force is almost finalized. Nascent soul cultivators will lead teams of 100 and core formation cultivators will lead teams of 10, commanding Tenchi building cultivators to advance into the Devil Realm. Of course, as a punished criminal before the expedition, according to High Woon's orders, I have to act within another core formation cultivators team like a chi building cultivator until my punishment is lifted or I achieve some merit. And the leader of the 10-person team I joined is Yun Jin, seated beside me. Phew, it's nerve-wracking, Cultivator CO. There's no need to be too nervous. Cultivator Yun will surely do well. I don't know why I'm the 10-man leader. Moreover, Cultivator CO has a higher realm than me. It would be better if you were in command. Steady your heart. As I am a punished cultivator, I cannot hold command, so Cultivator Yun must take the burden. If needed, I'll help from the side, so don't worry. Cultivator CO, thank you so much. It's nothing. After comforting Yun Jin, who is trembling before the war with the Devil Realm, I prepare an incantation silently. Since entering Azure Heaven Creation Sect and arriving here, decades have passed. Throughout these years, I tirelessly researched combining the Three Spirits technique and the Devil Legion Terracotta Scroll, analyzing and finally succeeding in merging the two methods. There are still some things left to improve, but it's almost complete. Now, it's just a matter of testing it. This unnamed method, when used, forms an artifact spirit within one's Dharma treasure, making that artifact spirit an avatar capable of sharing a part of the cultivation. Later, if cultivation falls behind, one can quickly regain their progress with the help of the artifact spirit. Unfortunately, storing the entire cultivation itself within the Dharma treasure to retrieve it all at once proved too difficult due to its complexity. Of course, if the Dharma treasure is cultivated for a long time, and its quality grows along with its owner, it might be possible. However, the extent of the current colorless glass sword is limited. But such things aren't of great importance. Well, as I practice the method, I ponder. What's important is that, in completing this method, I can freely form the artifact spirits of entities that left an impression on me. That means, from now on, within the flashback experience that appears when reaching the nascent soul stage, I can store all characters that appear as artifact spirits. Although it might be difficult to store complete memories, if I record those memories, those reminiscences, those past figures as artifact spirits within the Dharma treasure, perhaps I can record all the rapidly fleeting memories of the lost flashbacks, allowing me to recall them by looking at those recorded figures. Well, I raise my energy. For the past few months, I have been continuously challenging the nascent soul stage. Of course, being marked by High Woon, I'd be punished again if caught challenging the nascent soul stage, but it's only a problem if caught. Normally, achieving the nascent soul would be impossible to hide due to the heavenly tribulation that follows. However, my current goal isn't reaching the nascent soul stage. It's to retrieve memories through the process of reaching the nascent soul stage. If I stop without obtaining the nascent soul and repeat this process, I can avoid detection indefinitely. TSTSTSTS. I challenge the nascent soul stage again, traversing through past memories. Activating the unnamed method, I begin recording the characters from those memories as artifact spirits in my Dharma treasure. TSTSTSTS. Ethereal figures form around me, transforming into the resemblances of Kim Yun, Azure Tiger Saint, and Oh Hyun Suk. Connections from this life. But before I can form more artifact spirits, the flashback experience quickly passes by and disappears again. Wawoom. I disperse the forming nascent soul again and infuse the scattering energy into the newly formed artifact spirits, storing a part of my cultivation within them. The speed of forming artifact spirits is too slow. Of course, it will get faster with practice. From now on, I'll form artifact spirits like this, watching the flashbacks and recording my memories as artifact spirits. I smile inwardly, looking at the translucent figures of the 3 people I formed around me. I will definitely regain my memories. Cultivator CO. What are those ethereal things around you? Oh, they're manifestations from the method I'm practicing. It seems you're practicing a unique method. But about those misty things. Yun-Jin starts rambling about the ethereal things he'd seen in his life upon seeing the artifact spirits I formed. To others, artifact spirits are not visible, appearing only as misty fog, which makes sense. However, I noticed that Yun-Jin is unusually talkative today. I see. Are you nervous? Soon, the formation will activate, and the entrance to the Devil Realm will open. The invasion of the Devil Realm will truly begin. I engage in conversation with Yun-Jin, trying to ease his nerves. A few days later, Wawoom. The formation changes into a brilliant golden light. Ahead, the commander of the Expeditionary Force, representative of the human race Grand Alliance. A cultivator of the 4-axis stage, societal tomb child, Gyu Suk, Silica Stone, takes out his Dharma treasure. Activate the Annihilation Formation. With those words, the formation we have been energizing with spiritual power for months activates. Flash. Golden light gathers and rushes towards the dimensional barrier of the true Devil Realm ahead. The dark mist is torn apart and scattered by the golden light. Kugugugugu. From now on, we begin the invasion of the true Devil Realm. All troops, advance. The heavenly being 1,000-man generals, nascent soul 100-man captains, and core formation 10-man leaders begin to arrange their formations as ordered. Ha! I'm going to taste some tender devil meat. Cute little devils, this old man will take care of you. They say that elixirs made from grinding down devils are very effective for devilish arts. Numerous cultivators draw their Dharma treasures and magic artifacts, licking their lips as they charge towards the Devil Realm. Whoosh! I follow Yun-Jin, who holds the 10-man leader's badge, and soon, the scenery of the true Devil Realm comes into view. Beyond the boundary, devils have built fortresses and spread out defensive formations to meet us. The evil human race has invaded. Spread the defensive formations. For the Devil Realm, let's block all these greedy humans. Unite. Thus, the great war between humans and devils began. Chapter 165, Drastic Change 4. Devil Army, form the Devil Origin Heaven Refining Formation. The devil race lines up, each beginning to emit devilish energy. In an instant, the front line is covered with dark, devilish energy, blocking our path. However, the human race expedition force, instead of charging towards the barrier of devilish energy, began to change formation. All Devil Path cultivators, forward. 700-strong units composed of devilish art cultivators stepped forward. Song Jin once said, among the people of the lower realm, even those who have mastered devilish arts prefer to ascend to the bright cold realm rather than the true devil realm. Kugugugu. I feel like I understand why. Kai. Kaya. Ku. Darkish monsters exude devilish energy. The entire bodies of the devilish cultivators, who have mastered devilish arts, began to emit dark devilish energy, piercing through the barrier of devilish energy right before us. Breakthrough. Kugagugum. With the devilish art cultivators each launching a strike, the barrier is pierced in an instant, and a path opens up. At the end of the path, the devil race is seen panicking. Righteous Path cultivators, forward. This time, cultivators of the righteous faction, who have mastered pure righteous cultivation methods, step forward, unleashing attacks that emit bright white light. At this light, the devil race across from us are seen fleeing in terror. Next, it's our turn. The cultivators who have learned the cultivation methods between righteousness and evil. Charge. Finding the devil veins of the devil realm and planting the vast cold jade entrusted to the 100-man captains is the top priority. The cultivators disperse, following the commands of their respective 100-man captains, and begin to break through the encircling devil race. block the despicable human race. The human race is trying to contaminate the devil realm. Dark, devilish energy gathers in the air, transforming into the shape of a black skull, and rushes towards our 100-man unit. Begone. Kagugugu. The skull disperses under the strike of a cultivator from our 100-man unit, who practices the wind attribute methods at the nascent soul stage. However, the shattered skull gathers into pieces and then splits into hundreds of smaller skulls, flying towards us again. Kaiya. Hiya. Yunjin quickly forms a hand seal as he faces the flying skulls. Light lightning blade lotus. Pachagic. Yellow lightning in the shape of blades form in the air, and dozens of them gather to create a lotus. The lightning lotus surrounding Yunjin soon disperses in all directions, hitting the skulls. Pachagic. As the bright yellow lightning strikes, the skulls evaporate. It has been said since ancient times that the lightning attribute has the power to destroy evil and exterminate devils. It seems the saying is true. Ahaha, of course. It's particularly effective against the Een attribute or the ghost and devil attributes. But honestly, I was so scared just now that I almost failed casting the spell. I don't think I will be of much help. Perhaps you should make more use of your 10-man subordinates. I can help, or you can borrow the power of the chi-building cultivators part of the unit. Thank you for the advice. Just then, Kuwang. A section of the devil race's wall crumbles due to a spell cast by a 100-man captain. The 100-man captain's booming voice echoes all around. I can feel the devil veins of the devil realm in that direction. We will head there first. Whizzing. He wraps himself in dragon fist wind and quickly flies to said location, and we cross the wall to follow him. After crossing the wall and looking back with my consciousness, I see that the spatial rift we had crossed is covered with a large wall and barrier. It is said that the spatial rifts leading to the devil realm are scattered throughout the bright cold realm. The devil race, wary of this invasion by the human race, seem to have built castles around these spatial rifts. Whoosh! How long have we flown following the 100-man captain? The 100-man captain soon arrives at something resembling a large mountain in the devil realm. This is the devil veins of the devil realm. Devilish energy flows heavily here. From now on, as the 100-man captain, I will begin to erode the devil realm using vast cold jade. You all must protect the surroundings to ensure I am not disturbed. Upon his command, a total of 10 10-man leaders and their respective 10-man teams form a circle around the 100-man captain, standing guard in the surroundings. Whoom. Behind us, where the 100-man captain is, a dense spiritual energy surges, pushing away the thick devilish energy filling the surroundings and beginning to erode the space. The atmosphere of the devil realm is changing, turning into that of a spiritual realm. Whoom. As spiritual energy begins to bloom around, the other chi-building practitioners within the 10-man teams seem to look more alive. Those who reached core formation are at the pinnacle of vitality, able to survive for years without eating or drinking, and able to live on the spiritual energy within their bodies without breathing. But chi-building cultivators, though their bodies flow with pure spiritual force and have high vitality, are not beyond human limitations, struggling in the devil realm's environment filled with devilish energy, unlike the spiritual realm. While we are guarding the surroundings, Kagugugu. From afar, hundreds of members of the devil race are flying towards us with raging intent. Over there, the human race is contaminating the devil realm. You bastards, stop the erosion immediately. Devils with horns instead of eyes on their faces, devils with 2 heads, and those entirely made of stone surround us in a bizarre formation. All devils engage. We are equal in the erosion area. Protect the devil realm from erosion. The masses of the human race and devil race collide. Yunjin quickly forms a seal and casts a spell. Lightning blade lotus. Patchizizis. Once again, a lotus made of yellow lightning surrounds him. Quang. When a large devil race member throws a punch, Yunjin's lotus trembles severely, and he seems engulfed in fear, desperately infusing spiritual power into the lotus. Damn it, he's completely lost it. I click my tongue inwardly as I see Yunjin frozen in fear and stiffening. Tay Dash, 10-man leader. Please give us an order. 10-man leader. Excluding me, the members of Yunjin's 10-man team are also in turmoil, distressed seeing Yunjin only protecting himself and looking out of his senses. I take the initiative to issue commands in place of Yunjin, blocking the attacks of the devil race, while also commanding the other 10-man teams. All members, the 10-man leader is preparing a major spell, so for now, follow my command. First, excluding me, 9 chi-building cultivators, starting with you, go behind the 10-man leader and intercept the enemies with magic artifacts. The devil race is not compatible with the 10-man leader's lightning, so it will be safe to be behind him. As I reveal the aura of core formation and give orders, the chi-building cultivators of the 10-man units follow my command as if they have been waiting. I send 5 of the 9 10-man members behind Yunjin and the remaining 4 behind me. So, do we just stay behind you, senior? Right. Follow me. Follow you. Do you see something wriggling behind the devil race force? Squelch, squelch, squelch. Behind the devil race force, several large tentacles are blowing flutes, stuck in place. Reading the devil race's intent, my eyes shine. That mass of tentacles is the devil race's commander. It's commanding the devil race surrounding us, so we'll break through the devil race force to engage the commander and harass it. That way, their command structure will be paralyzed in one fell swoop, making it easier for our fellow cultivators. Are we really going to break through those devil race members, just by ourselves? It's entirely possible. Don't be paralyzed by fear, form up. We'll charge in a wedge formation. You will take the left wing, and you two will handle the right wing. After placing 4 people on both flanks, I pull out a chunk of flesh from within my clothes. Come out, Yuan. Splorch. Squelch, squelch. The chunk of flesh bursts from my hand upon my command and transforms into a human figure after a while of wriggling. A being wearing a blood-colored robe, with a mix of male and feminine characteristics, appears with ebony-like hair cascading down. Seeing Yuan, the Chi-building 10-man team members open their mouths wide in awe. Don't gape. As a blood body that I control, Yuan is merely a puppet. It will lead the way to break through, and I will support from the rear, dealing with those who attack from above and below the ground. Woo. As Yuan opens its mouth, a bloody light flashes from its golden core, and through its mouth emerges a crystal skull staff, 17 bone daggers, for crimson pagodas, and a blood-colored spear. The Ghost King that had been attached to the blood-colored spear had been consumed by the nether-crossing ship before, so Yuan takes the spear directly and assumes a stance. Of course, since I am the one controlling the blood body Yuan, its posture is perfect. Everyone, I issue the command through Yuan mouth. Charge. Fwoosh. With that word, Yuan shoots forward, matching the speed of the Chi-building cultivators. The Chi-building team members follow on Yuan's flanks, and I follow directly behind Yuan, forming seals. White Orchid Blessing Incantation. Woo. Bright light arises from my entire body, and several white orchids begin to bloom around us. Then, the white orchids fly into the bodies of the 10-man team members. What in the world? The expressions of the 10-man team members changes. In an instant, their power surges to match that of the Grand Perfection Chi-building. In addition to this, I begin to lay circuits in their bodies through the power of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation I bestowed upon them. In Soul Ghost Incantation. TSTSSTS. Of course, laying circuits in the body of a living human would bring immense pain and significantly damage the body. I funnel the pain and harmful effects of the circuits through the curse spells of In Soul Ghost Incantation into Yuan's body. As the circuits are laid into their bodies, now matching Grand Perfection Chi-building cultivators, they all begin to exhibit the power of core formation cultivators. Senior, what kind of power is this? It's my blessing. No need for many words, just pick up the pace. Now that you're at the level of core formation, you can keep up with the speed, right? Of course. Fwoosh. Yuan and I start using the flying escape technique, and the other Chi-building members follow at a comparable speed. Quang. The enemies in front of us are cleaved apart by the blood-colored spear in Yuan's hand. The crystal skull staff floating above Yuan's head opens its mouth, drawing the essence blood of the attacking devil race members into Yuan, continuously bolstering its vigor. Ting, ting, ting. Moreover, with the 4 crimson defensive pagodas surrounding us, it's nearly impossible for the devil race members to successfully attack us, and we can continuously charge, scattering attacks in all directions. Finally, Quang. We stop in front of the mass of tentacles commanding the devil race force. Oh, nascent soul stage devil I see. Among the shadow-like devil race members, 3 are at core formation, and 1 is a nascent soul stage powerhouse. Everyone, engage the core formation devils. Yuan and I will take on this one. Yes, sir. No words are needed. The shadow devil's hand reaches out towards Yuan and me. Quang. Yuan summons the crimson pagodas to spread a barrier, but the barrier begins to shake violently and crack almost immediately. Such evil human scum, truly living up to their reputation with their eerie appearance. One is neither male nor female, and another wanders headless. The shadow devil at the nascent soul stage looks at us and sneers before reaching out again. It's not entirely wrong. Hold him for a bit, Yuan. Blood demon suppressing sea. Swoosh. From Yuan's body, blood-red seawater explodes everywhere, overwhelming the nascent soul stage shadow devil. Blood chain binding forest. As Yuan forms a hand seal, a blood-red forest sprouts from the blood-red seawater, beginning to press down on the nascent soul shadow devil. Kagugugu. Countless branches intertwine, attempting to skewer the devil race like a kebab. However, The body of the shadow devil appeared to be made of shadows, as the branches pass right through it. Ahaha, how cute. Core formation stage humans daring to harm me, without even properly sensing planes. Azure Wing. Kagugugu. Behind me, 3 wings sprout. Heavenly Shatter. Kagugugu. A secret technique of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, performed by a core formation cultivator exerting all their strength. Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter is executed. What? A whirl of blue light overwhelms the nascent soul devil, wrapping around its entire body. Within it, the nascent soul devil cries out, You're from the Heart Tribe. SHSH. Wish. And within the whirlwind of blue, the storm of the formless sword shreds the devil. Before the devil can continue babbling, I rush at them, grabbing their head with my hand covered in the formless sword. If you're defeated, quietly surrender your life. Stop babbling annoyingly. PUK. The formless sword dices through its entire body, and the shadowy flesh of the devil, which was impervious to attacks below the core formation stage, is sliced open by the formless sword, ultimately scattering. SSSHHH. After watching its nascent soul disperse and its soul ascend, I look at a mass of tentacles scurrying away beside me. The tentacle mass seems to be the one commanding the surrounding devil force, but it appears to have poor physical abilities, managing to move only 3 steps despite its efforts. Listen here, Taoist. Chuck. I grab the tentacles sprouting from its body and say, disperse your forces, don't pretend you can't understand. Hurry. Wriggle, wriggle. The tentacle devil trembles and conveys its consciousness through its tentacles. I've heard that the human race grinds prisoners into elixirs. I, as commander, wish for proper treatment instead of such a dreadful fate. I'll take responsibility for your life. Understood. Chalak. Shortly after, a strange intent spreads in all directions from the tips of the tentacle mass. Soon after, the devil race surrounding our 100-man unit flees. I pull on the tentacles and ask, you could have just made your forces surrender, but you ordered them to run away. I had no choice. You may have promised proper treatment for prisoners, but how will my subordinates know you won't eat them? It feels like we're being treated as a cannibal army. Still, it seems like the commander is quite kind to its subordinates despite its appearance. All right, I understand. Capturing you alone has earned me merit, so I won't say more. I pick up the tentacle mass and return to the 100-man unit. Shortly after, from the devil veins controlled by the 100-man captain, refreshing spiritual energy spreads, eroding all surrounding devil veins into spiritual veins. We've succeeded in the assimilation. The surrounding devilish energy is washed away, and spiritual energy illuminates all around. It isn't just our side that succeeded in the operation. From afar, beams of spiritual energy can also be seen. The beams of spiritual energy erode the devil veins into spiritual veins, meeting one another and emitting even stronger light. Before long, the land where we first set foot is completely infused with majestic spiritual energy. To the expeditionary force, the first Devil Realm assimilation operation has been successful. Congratulations on the operation's success, and all criminals who received sentences before joining the battle will have their crimes pardoned. I repeat, the first Devil Realm assimilation operation has. High in Wound's telepathic message resonates throughout the units, and I begin to slowly regenerate the upper part of my neck, organizing my thoughts. Is this right? Although I should celebrate the victory, I find myself caught between pitying the tentacle devil squirming beside me and the invading human race eagerly waiting to feast on the devil race. I ponder whether what I am doing is right. As I dwell on these thoughts for a while, I suddenly feel something vibrating within me. This is a heart demon. As these doubts arose, the heart demon that had formed as I rose to the nascent soul stage began to react. Feeling the vibrations of the heart demon, I realize, the day I find the answer to whether my actions are correct, perhaps I can rid myself of the heart demon and regain my memories. Translator notes. Donated chapter by Re-D, Marvinzum, TinyRock 971, Tinjar, Glod, Smiley Face, and Assigned. Thanks for the support. Chapter 166, Drastic Change, 5. The first Devil Race invasion was successfully carried out, and I received recognition for handing over the mass of tentacles to the upper ranks. Capturing a Devil Race commander was considered a significant achievement, especially according to the testimonies of my subordinates who said I defeated a nascent soul stage devil. I was awarded the plaque of a 100-man captain, enabling me to lead a 100-man unit. There's someone in our 1,000-man unit who rashly tried to ascend stages before joining the invasion of the Devil Realm, fell to a heart demon, and was decapitated. It seems you had confidence in your skills to ascend stages. I look forward to working with you, 100-man captain. Yeol, a heavenly being stage general of the 1,000-man unit I belong to, patted my shoulder. I looked at the spirit plaque Dharma Treasure, and Vast Cold Jade that are all issued to every 100-man captain. Vast Cold Jade. From now on, I, too, will have to stand at the forefront of the Devil Race invasion operations, eroding the land of the Devil Realm with Vast Cold Jade. After expressing my gratitude to the upper echelons, I went to my assigned post. The area was already filled with dense heaven and earth spiritual energy, making it effortless to breathe and for cultivators below the chi building stage to use their spells without any inconvenience. And that means, hey, use your spells properly. Raise the wall. Build the roof. Even with only chi building stage cultivators, it's possible to build houses in the Devil Realm's land, as if we are in the vast, bright, cold realm. Already, the vicinity is filled with numerous houses made of mud and wood, palaces, and mansions galore. The incredible changes are the result of chi building stage cultivators earnestly diving into construction work. 100-man captain, you've arrived. Yun Jin, who had briefly been my superior, and his 10-man unit members came out from a manor to greet me. As expected, Cultivator CO. No, 100-man captain. I knew you were more skilled than me and would succeed someday, but I didn't expect you to rise so quickly. This mansion has been allocated to you as the 100-man captain. Thank you, Cultivator Yun. Everyone, come in for now. I lead the 10-man unit members into the manor. You've been assigned to my 100-man unit, and as more reinforcements arrive, our unit will be replenished with more personnel. Let's get along well until then. Yes, 100-man captain. It's an honor. I share a moment of light drinks with Yun Jin and the 10-man unit inside the manor. After laughing and chatting for a while, they returned to their original places, and after sending them off, I looked up at the sky from the silent mansion. The land is illuminated by spiritual energy, but the sky of the Devil Realm is still dense with devilish energy. Something feels off. I feel as if there's a hole in my chest, a feeling of having lost something, but I can't figure out what it is. Something seems wrong, but I can't remember what it is exactly. And so, time passes again as an invader. Initially, the ranks of the expedition force of the Devil Realm were purely based on cultivation stages. However, as the invasion progressed, ranks gradually became divided based on contributions. Even as a core formation stage cultivator, I established far more merits than cultivators of the same realm, or even nascent soul stage cultivators, and was eventually awarded the spirit plaque of a 1,000-man general. I heard that from the rank of 1,000-man general, one could be granted the authority of a provisional governor to manage colonies in the true Devil Realm. A governor. After the first invasion of the Devil Realm, the erosion of the Devil Realm continued steadily, and we had just finished the 9th invasion operation. Wawung. Spiritual energy fills the Devil Realm. I see the remnants of the Devil race who had not yet fled, and the human cultivators literally hunting these remnants. I blankly stare at this scene. Oh Hyunsuk and Kim Yun approach me, clicking their tongues in disapproval. They, too, had earned the plaque of a 1,000-man general through their numerous contributions. Oh Hyunsuk speaks up. Honestly, we came here under our master's orders, but am not sure if this is right. I think the same. I thought the Devil Realm was a place inhabited only by devils. What we saw were human race members holding Dharma treasures, chasing after the Devil race, separating their flesh from bone, draining their blood, and even absorbing and storing their souls. I can't tell who's the devil and who's the human. Exactly. I heard even the simplest devils possess intelligence, especially those above the core formation stage. Listening to their conversation, I feel a turmoil in my chest. Emotionally, I found myself empathizing with the Devil race. But rationally, I understood the actions of the human cultivators hunting the Devil race. Why? It's a feeling I have been experiencing lately. My rationality and emotions are in stark contrast. Strange. What is right and what is wrong? I absent-mindedly stroke my chest, unable to remember something I might have forgotten, and gaze into the distance with Oh Hyunsuk and Kim Yun. Provincial governor of the occupied territory? I ask, not quite understanding. Yes, Co Eunhyun. You've been appointed as the provincial governor to oversee the territory from the newly occupied Devil Ridge Mountains to the Black Pearl River. I question Hyen Woon. Although I have achieved many merits, I am still at the core formation stage. Wouldn't it be better to entrust this to someone at the heavenly being stage? On the contrary, that's why I'm assigning you as the provincial governor. The other heavenly being stage cultivators have crucial roles in the next operation, and it will be problematic if we are missing even one or two in order to manage the occupied territories. I see. Moreover, recent reports suggest you've been showing signs of mental instability. Soldiers who have been on the battlefield for a long time sometimes experience psychological issues. Taking a break as a provincial governor and reaching nascent soul can solidify your mental foundation. Since you've previously attempted to ascend to the nascent soul stage on your own, what better opportunity can there be? I fall silent for a moment at Hyen Woon's words. He has a point, but what concerns me is, Haiyan Woon, the color of his intent. Lately, I've been feeling an increasing sense of alienation from the color of his intent. He had received reports of my mental instability, but it seems he is unaware that his own mind might be deteriorating. What should I do? After pondering for a moment, I decided to dismiss it as one of the mental illnesses many cultivators experience during war. It's not my problem anyway. If you say so, I will accept the position of governor. Good. From today, you are the provincial governor of the 8th erosion area. I received the spirit plaque from Haiyan Woon and walk out of the manor where he resided. As reinforcements joined the expedition force, more and more human cultivators moved to the front lines. After defeating the devil race, the occupied territory was quickly transformed into a bustling area by numerous human cultivators. Many chi-building stage cultivators gathered, swiftly building cities and fortresses. I passed through the bustling area and head to the manor assigned to me. Inside, the 100-man captains of my 1,000-man unit were gathered, sharing conversations. The 1,000-man general has arrived. 1,000-man general, did you receive anything this time? Most of the 100-man captains are at the nascent soul stage, but none of them look down on me. In fact, none of them can defeat me in a one-on-one fight. Recently, even General CO, who has somewhat recovered to the nascent soul level, is under my command, so my skills are certainly not lacking. Among the 100-man captains, Yunjin, who followed me and made more contributions, is also there. He's staggering around, his face flushed from drinking among the nascent soul stage cultivators. Listen, everyone, I will not participate in the next 10th erosion operation. Really? Why is that? I announced that I have been appointed as the provincial governor. No. Where else can you find someone as capable as our 1,000-man general? Is this really right? Chief Strategist Haiyan Woon, I've disliked that guy from the start. Let's smash his head in and bring our 1,000-man general back. Oh my, how many among the other 1,000-man generals are as capable as CO 1,000-man general? Everyone, thank you. Truthfully, the 1,000-man unit I've led has indeed been on a winning streak. Not because we achieved major contributions every time, but because we managed to secure many minor contributions while ensuring the majority of our forces returned safely, which is a well-regarded aspect within my 1,000-man unit. It was thanks to my tendency to focus on securing minor contributions while paying attention to the safety of my subordinates rather than chasing after major merits. 1,000-man general. So, you won't be standing on the front lines anymore? Yunjin asks, blinking his eyes drunkenly. That's the case. Then, I will follow you to the 8th occupied territory. Please don't forget my loyalty to you, 1,000-man general. Yunjin, it's not loyalty to the 1,000-man general, but fear of being assigned to another 1,000-man unit with a lower survival rate if the general is absent, right? You funny guy? Hey everyone, let's pour more into Yunjin's glass and teach this coward a lesson. After chuckling at Yunjin, who is surrounded by nascent soul stage cultivators and sweating profusely from the alcohol, I enter my mansion within the manor. Inside, a large mass of tentacles is rolling and squirming. It's the devil race commander I first captured as a prisoner, named Giant Shin, seeing the new. After the interrogation of the prisoner was completed, instead of sending him directly to an alchemist, at my request, he was able to survive as my pet beast. Cultivator Giant, it seems you are doing well. Lord CO, have you come? As you can see, I am living well thanks to your grace. There's no need for formalities. Anyway, it seems the time has come to release Cultivator Giant. At my words, the tentacles twitch and turn towards me. I've been appointed as the provincial governor of the 8th occupied territory. They told me to rest there for a while. So, once we arrive near the 8th occupied territory, they'll release you. Thank you, Lord CO. Among all the humans I've met, you are the one most faithful to your promises. When I first handed over Giant Shin, I requested that he be treated well as a prisoner. However, the prisoner treatment among humans meant turning them into pet beasts by implanting a spike in their head or extracting their core to make elixirs. Therefore, just before Giant Shin was sent to an alchemist, I managed to save him by claiming I would make him my pet beast. Of course, to control a pet beast, one has to learn a special method or implant a spike in their head. After taking Giant Shin, I removed the spike implanted in his head to free him from control. I apologized for not being able to promise proper prisoner treatment and promised to release him later. Listen here, Cultivator Giant. Yes, please speak. Although I'm not well versed in the affairs of the devil race, from Cultivator Giant's perspective, do you think the devil race is more benevolent than humans? Benevolent. It depends on what criteria you use for benevolence. Giant Shin continues, squirming his tentacles. If capturing other races indiscriminately to use them as elixirs is considered evil, then generally, the devil race is benevolent. However, my race, the RTOC tribe, suppresses the minds of other beings to control them, parasitizes their bodies to suck nutrients and spiritual energy, and when the host ages, takes their life and moves to another host. There are also devil races that lay eggs in the bodies of other races, exploit other races, and frequently wage wars at the slightest provocation. In some aspects, we are not benevolent either. My RTOC tribe has the talent for suppressing minds, so we can somewhat read the consciousness of others. It may sound presumptuous, but when I read Lord Sio's mind, it seems you are pondering the morality of your actions. That's correct. Giant Shin continues. Had it been any other human asking, I would have said that humans are the filthiest and most evil. While there are numerous races, and the devil realm harbors many bizarre races, the truth is that humans are almost unique in taking prisoners directly to be made into elixirs. However, since you are the one asking, and answering without any malice towards humans, but with a degree of objectivity, Giant Shin lifts one of his tentacles to meet my eye level. The law of the jungle. That's the undeniable truth of this world, a fate all beings are born into. We, the devil race, also feel aggrieved by this invasion and hold great animosity towards humans. But to be honest, if the devil race were the stronger force, we too might have invaded human territories at any time, parasitizing human bodies as hosts, laying eggs in them, or exploiting them, just as I mentioned before. It's just that now, humans are stronger than us, so they invade the devil realm and turn the devil race into mere elixirs. Thank you for your answer. After leaving Giant Shin behind, I head to my room. It's not a matter of good or evil, but of strength and weakness. Yet, something about that doesn't seem right. Giant Shin's words are clear and easy to accept, sweeping away the guilt blossoming within me. But I feel there is something more than that. Something more, forgotten deep within my heart. Surely, 3 days later, I set off for the 8th occupied territory with those who had decided to follow me. 8th occupied territory, provincial governor's residence. I was briefed by the administrator assigned to assist me in the 8th occupied territory about the situation there. So, currently, there are 7 devil tribes within our occupied territory. The number of tribes is not as many as in other occupied territories. Yes, our territory produces a metal called devilish gold from the Devil Ridge Mountains, so the resources we can exploit from the tribes are less significant than what we can extract from the mines. Of course, if the provincial governor wishes, we can make good elixirs from the remaining tribes. That's enough. I wave my hand to dismiss the topic. We don't need elixirs. Let's move on to discuss resources and management of the occupied territory. From what I understand, the real importance of this 8th occupied territory isn't just that. Yes, as you may know, this 8th occupied territory contains a void spirit pond. Void spirit pond, a place where the veil between dimensions is thin. This thin veil, transparent like the water of a pond, hence called void spirit pond, often yields spirit stones used in creating space magic artifacts such as storage bags, storage scrolls, and other storage devices, making it a valuable resource. However, the true value of the void spirit pond is not just that. Once the territory is fully colonized, I'll organize the void spirit pond to thoroughly explore the lower realms heavily populated by humans. Void spirit pond, also referred to as the unbound flying immortal platform. By organizing the dimensional veil of the void spirit pond and connecting it to a specific lower realm, the void spirit pond can transform into a flying immortal platform that welcomes those ascending. Though the void spirit pond is unstable now, and it might take at least 1,000 to 2,000 years, it means, with time, we can develop the void spirit pond into a flying immortal platform. The provincial governor should focus on the void spirit pond going forward. Understood. Let's go see this void spirit pond. Yes. I head with the administrator to the location of the void spirit pond. Here it is. The void spirit pond is beneath the governor's mansion. Traveling through a bedrock cave underneath, the void spirit pond can be found deep within the underground cave. Wawoom. Upon arrival, I momentarily marvel at the grandeur of the void spirit pond, an ancient underground cavern. There, spirit stones are sparkling green in various places, and below them lay a vast underground lake. But it's not a lake. I point to one side of the void spirit pond and gesture lightly towards the other side with my hand. This connects to the outer dimensions of the devil realm, the void spirit pond. Correct. Unlike a normal lake, there's no movement on its surface at all. I admire the landscape reflecting on the lake's surface like a mirror. Beautiful. However beautiful it may be, please do not touch the surface of the lake. Unless you're a cultivator at the 4-axis stage capable of withstanding spatial storms, touching the lake will either tear you apart from the spatial storms blowing from outside the lake, or, if lucky enough to survive, you'd fall into a strange dimension unknown to anyone. I'll be careful. Yes, and we've also set up a formation to prevent most people, except the governor, from approaching this area. While void spirit ponds have been found in other occupied territories as well, we must be cautious to prevent anyone from tampering with it. If anyone tries to approach the void spirit pond, it's only right for you, as the governor, to punish them without mercy. Understood. After giving me a few more precautions about the void spirit pond, the administrator suggested we leave. Afterward, the administrator offered a few more precautions about the light spirit pond before suggesting we leave. However, I remained, gazing at the void spirit pond. The scenery is too beautiful for me to just leave. Wait for me above. Yes, if that's what the governor wishes. Whoosh. The administrator, being at the core formation stage and apparently having many duties, quickly ascends to the surface using a flying escape technique. I look in the direction the administrator had gone for a while, then turn my gaze back to the void spirit pond. Come forth. Womb. As soon as I entered the area of the void spirit pond, avoiding the administrator's eyes, I activated the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. My record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts has already transcended its original limitations, now allowing me to use it on others, not just myself. Within the range of my record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, small creatures begin to emerge, wriggling. Young members of the devil race. A small child with horns on his head and another with bat wings. Apart from their unique physical attributes, these two devil race members look not much different from humans. What are you doing here? I speak in a manner that the devil race children can understand, using consciousness. At my words, the devil race children fidget and then speak. This is a secret place we found while exploring. Yes, we've been playing here often. You shouldn't come here anymore. Haven't you heard this place is now occupied by the human race? But we found it first. But we found it. The child with bat wings echoes the words of the horned child, making a sad face. First of all, how did you get in here? Are you kids from the nearby tribes? Yes, I come from the horned tribe, and this one is from the batwing tribe. Yes, our tribes are next to each other, so we often play together. While playing, we found a tunnel and explored it until we got here. I sigh deeply. Leave now. If you play here, evil humans might capture and eat you. Huh? Aren't you a human? Are you evil? Maybe I am. So you better leave right away. Why should we? We found this place, after all. I pondered how to send these little devil race children away without scaring them too much. After thinking for a moment, I decided to hide them temporarily, then went to the governor's mansion to quickly bring Giant Shin back to the void spirit pond. Look here, Cultivator Giant. Please tell these kids to go home. Ah, you little ones. Why on earth have you come here? Upon discovering the two devil race children, Giant Shin scolded them with his tentacles and quickly chased them out after telling them various educational stories from the devil realm. Phew, that was surprising. Thank you for safely sending the children back. Well, it's one thing to confront adult devils, but the young ones are innocent and shouldn't be antagonized. Right. In the devil realm, it's an unspoken rule not to touch each other's offspring, no matter how bizarre the actions of various races might be. Humans capture anything, young or old, but it's truly fortunate that someone like you, Lord Seo, exists. Haha. Each time I received ethical praise from Giant Shin, I felt something stirring in my heart. I can't go on like this. Sighing, I returned to the governor's mansion with Giant Shin and began to hear about the overall situation in the occupied territory from the administrator, issuing a decree to fundamentally prohibit making elixirs from the devil race. The reason is to utilize the labor force of the devil race for mining resources from the Devil Ridge Mountains. Then, I instructed the administrator to implement policies for the occupied territory as gently as possible before descending back to the serene void spirit pond. I plan to release Giant Shin when the time is right. But before that, I seek to quickly regain my memories to overcome the increasingly turbulent darkness in my heart. I must recover my memories. Wawoom. In the tranquil void spirit pond, I inhaled the purified spiritual energy around me, cleansed by the vast cold jade, time and again. I continuously challenged the nascent soul stage. With the newly created method, I formed artifact spirits within the Dharma treasure, storing the concentrated spiritual energy each time I attempted the nascent soul stage. Thus, I spent years in the void spirit pond. Despite my warnings, the two young members of the devil race kept visiting the void spirit pond. The children kept ignoring my words, and at some point, I gave up and just made sure they didn't enter the pond. Eventually, I learned the names of the children: Su In, Longevity's Cause, and Hong Yun, Red Connection. Occasionally, when something urgent came up at the governor's mansion, I would go up to deal with it, and also comforted Yun Jin, who cried missing his home. Thus, I spent years in the devil realm. Read at https://wetreteles.site. So what are you saying? Sitting cross-legged and infusing leftover spiritual energy into the artifact spirits, I look at the figures before me. We've decided to get engaged. Yes. I stare at Su-in and Hong Yun in front of me. Su-in from the Horn tribe and Hong Yun from the Batwing tribe look back at me with sparkling eyes. 18 years have passed since I became the provincial governor. These devil-race children had matured significantly, no longer the gender-indistinct kids they once were. Well, I had a rough idea. I knew for a while they saw each other as more than just friends. But the headache for me lay elsewhere. But asking me to witness your engagement, what's that about? Indeed, they started begging me to be their witness. I'm a human. Wouldn't it be better for Cultivator Giant to do that? Yes, children. It would be much better for me, with my vast knowledge, to witness it. Though I had promised to release Giant Shin. Due to his racial characteristics, he couldn't go anywhere alone without subduing a beast to parasitize. However, the Devil Ridge Mountains scarcely have any beasts, leaving Giant Shin unable to escape and leaving him waiting to be rescued by his kind. And now, 18 years later, Giant Shin has yet to receive a rescue signal from his kin. Eventually, he seemed to give up, merely playing Go or chess with me from time to time. But, even if you're a human, there's no human as good as you, Governor. Compared to other occupied territories of the Devil Realm, our territory is quite a good place to live, and perhaps because we've been with you, Governor, it really feels comfortable. But, have you gotten permission from your respective tribes? The two look at each other, grin and say, yes. Of course. Don't lie. How did you? Never mind. It doesn't matter, does it? We're not asking for a marriage witness, just an engagement witness. Eventually, I gave in to their whining and agreed to witness their engagement. The two Devil Race members stood in the brightest spot near the Void Spirit Pond, surrounded by shining spirit stones, and promised their future to each other. Why am I even witnessing this? Watching the young couple, I can't help but smile unwittingly. Apparently, I have a soft spot for people in love. Memories yet to sink into darkness. The recollection of planting quince and white magnolias with my first love and the love shared within the castle of puppets surfaced, making me smile involuntarily. Warmth filled my heart. Watching these two, whom I had seen grow up, come together, the darkness that had been tormenting my heart seemed to ease. I think I understand something. After blessing the two Devil Race members, I returned to the governor's mansion. Before organizing my enlightenment, I decided to clear up all the piled-up work at the governor's office and before preparing myself for seclusion for a long time. I'm almost there. Just a few more steps seem to be needed to release the heart demon and recover my memories. Just when I'm dealing with the piled-up work at the governor's office with the administrator. Go, Governor. What's the matter? The administrator and I, who are handling tasks in the governor's office, turned to look at the person who rushed in. It's the messenger from the Human Race Grand Alliance, dispatched to each occupied territory. Sensing the emotional state of the messenger, I intuition that something significant had happened. Take a breath and tell me slowly. What's happening? From the mainland of the bright cold realm, a message has come. That is, a true immortal has appeared in one of the human territories, and a sky island named Thunder Spirit Island was directly burned to evaporation by heavenly lightning. Furthermore, the integration stage grand cultivators from various races of the bright cold realm who went to investigate, as well as those from the human race, have all died or suffered critical injuries. I rise from my seat abruptly. Thunder Spirit Island is the name of the sky island where the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect is located. Is it this time already? The messenger continues. The problem is that the news of the integration stage grand cultivators from the human race suffering critical injuries have reached the deepest parts of the Devil Realm through spies. That means the integration stage grand cultivators in the Devil Realm have also heard this news. Up until now, major wars had mostly seen 4-axis stage cultivators as the maximum force deployed. After all, if integration stage cultivators started to move, it would mean irrevocable damage to both sides. Thus, even though 4-axis stage cultivators participated in this human-devil great war, integration stage cultivators from both sides have been watching each other from the side. However, the situation has now changed. The news that integration stage cultivators from the bright cold realm being critically injured by a true immortal has reached the ears of integration stage cultivators of the true Devil Realm. Integration stage cultivators from the true Devil Realm will now start to move in this human-devil great war. The situation has undergone a drastic change. Author's note. The build-up part of the story was a bit long. To avoid dragging it out, I've compacted the build-up part into one part. I apologize if the tension dropped a bit due to the monsoon affecting my condition. Now that the monsoon season is ending, I'll strive to focus more on quality going forward. Thank you as always to all our readers. Chapter 167, Those That Are Lost 1. Damn, the situation is going to change drastically from now on. If the Devil Race's integration stage cultivators make a move, it's obvious that the tide of war will turn instantly. We might have to relinquish all the occupied territories, and in the worst-case scenario, the human territory might be invaded by the devil race. In that case, I hold my head, full of complex thoughts, and head outside the governor's office to look up at the sky. Although the devil realm is different from the bright cold realm, celestial energy exists here as well, and it's only natural that celestial energy will play a major role in the upcoming situations. Just when I'm examining the sky, Daoist Yun, what's the matter? Before I know it, Yun Jin is beside me, looking up at the sky. He strokes his half-white, half-black hair with a bland expression on his face. Daoist Yun. I call out to Yun Jin once more. He doesn't respond and keeps on reading the celestial energy beside me. I ask with a rigid face, "Who are you?" As I exude killing intent, Yun Jin finally seems to come to his senses and looks at me. Sorry. The celestial energy changed so suddenly. An incredible grand calamity appeared in the celestial energy, sealing our doom. It's funny. I was happy to hear that the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was destroyed, but as soon as I was happy, the day of our death was confirmed. I asked who you are. The destruction of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is a matter that had just been reported to me, the governor, by the messenger from the Human Race Grand Alliance. How could Yun Jin, a core formation cultivator from such a distant place, know about this? This person is not Yun Jin. Someone is talking to me, wearing Yun Jin's body. However, I feel something strange. No matter how much I scrutinize Yun Jin, for some reason, his intent and temperament are no different from what I had known him to be. Seems I've teased the young one too much. Sorry, I am Yun Wei, profound brilliance, Yun Jin's ancestor. Crack, crack, crack. Gradually, Yun Jin's body twists here and there, and his physique itself begins to change. By the way, seeing the governor reading the celestial energy with such a serious face, something big must have been reported from the mainland of the bright cold realm, right? Could you tell me what happened? What made the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect fall, the Heavenly Lightning Banner's energy disappear, and at the same time, a disaster befall Yun Jin and my fate? Crack. After a while, Yun Jin completely transformed in physique and skeleton, his face changing to that of a complete woman. Furthermore, Yun Jin's hair, which was originally white on the left and black on the right, had its colors reversed, with black on the left and white on the right. Whoa, I see. I swallow and look around at the immense size of the consciousness that covers more than half of the newly occupied 8th territory. The being with that massive consciousness reveals their intent without hiding. Passers-by, officials of the governor's office, and cultivators from various places started looking around to find the owner of this consciousness. Zap zap. 4-axis stage senior. I don't know why you hid your true soul in the body of a small core formation junior, but to explain. A cultivator at the 4-axis stage. Not just any ordinary cultivator, but a peak 4-axis stage cultivator qualified to challenge the domain of integration stage. Not like Song Jin, who was just a remnant dead soul lingering in the world, but an actual living 4-axis stage cultivator who crammed their entire true soul into the body of their descendant at the core formation stage. I explain with heightened tension. In the human race territory of the bright cold realm's mainland, a true immortal revealed their power, vaporizing the entire Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and the Thunder Spirit Island, injuring the grand cultivators at the integration stage in the process. I believe, although it's just my guess, that this true immortal has taken the sect's treasure, the Heavenly Lightning Banner. So that's what happened. Even in my time, there were rumors that the Heavenly Lightning Banner has a bad legend associated with it. To think it was really an object that brings disaster. The woman, Yun Wei, crosses her arms and sighs. I ask her cautiously, "Excuse me, but may I ask who you are? Didn't I tell you my name? Where you come from, what you are doing? That's what I'm asking." Ahaha. Even for a core formation cultivator acting as a governor, you're quite extraordinary. How can you have such a look in your eyes with a core formation body? SSSHHH. The atmosphere around us cools, and my heart pounds like crazy. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth solidifies, making it hard to breathe. However, as I send out a wave of consciousness, an immense force emerges from my shadow, making it easier for me to breathe. Kagugugu. Her complexion changes. Kid, what are you hiding in your shadow? If you're curious, how about you first explain who you are properly, and then I might tell you. Ahaha. Trying to trade information with me? Sorry, but I'm not in the best mood right now since my and Gina's fate has been fixed by fate. Honestly, I'm wondering if I should just go around doing things I never got to do in my life. As a friend before a superior, I have to ask what exactly you plan to do with Daoist Yun's body. For the last time, Senior Yuan. Who are you? Where are you from? Why have you hidden inside Daoist Yun's body? And what is your purpose? Kun. An explosive momentum bursts from my shadow, starting to push back Yun Wei's pressure. Simultaneously, a hand appears from the shadow, and General Seo, who is a head taller than me, begins to emerge. During my stay in the Devil Realm, I had been steadily working on recreating General CO. By using special materials from the Devil Realm to reinforce General CO, I was finally able to restore General CO to an early 4-axis stage level to some extent, even though the soul in front of me reached the end of the 4-axis stage. Strictly speaking, the current level of this person's cultivation is at the mid-core formation stage, and only their consciousness is at the peak of the 4-axis stage. Of course, as someone who reached the pinnacle of 4-axis, they would know all sorts of bizarre and profound abilities, but with 4-axis stage General CO here, I'm not at a disadvantage. This is boring. A man should tremble with fear. That's why Jina was so cute. Well, anyway, I am Yunwei, an elder of the Thundercloud Pavilion. Thundercloud Pavilion? Yes, after ascending from the head realm, I betrayed the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and spilled all the sect's core methods and major secrets to the Thundercloud Pavilion. Because of that, after the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's mass ascension, I was nearly killed by the Heavenly Lightning Banner before I hid in Jina's body to barely save my life. Thinking it safest under the enemy's nose, I had Jina join the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. But thinking that the ascended Jin Byakho seemed to have a keen sense, I decided to join the expedition to the Devil Realm to avoid his gaze. So, what is your purpose? My purpose? Nothing much. Just living a long life and doing what I want, a simple purpose. That's why I shamelessly entered the body of my descendant to live a bit longer. Though, that's coming to an end now. Regret fills her eyes. While reading the celestial energy, I learned about the annihilation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. It wasn't hard to find out about the rise and fall of a sect I had a lot of connections with. But then, I found out our fates were fixed to death. Fixed to death? What do you mean by that? Exactly what I said. Jina and my fate will come in at most 20 years from now. We will definitely die. For some reason, our fate was drastically shortened. She looks up at the sky with a lamenting face. I wanted to live a little longer, but it seems the heavens don't allow for that. To die like this. How is Taoist Yun right now? He's listening to our conversation inside. Please let me talk to Taoist Yun for a moment. Well, all right. Womb. Shortly after, the immense consciousness seems to twitch, and then the massive consciousness disappears, revealing that of a core formation. Yun Jin screams out in a strained voice. Senior, my lower half is gone. Senior, please stop changing my body as you like except during cultivation. Yun Wei seems to say something to Yun Jin through consciousness, and Yun Jin is fuming and yelling into the air. No, cultivation aside, I was born a man. It's really annoying how every time you take over my body, you turn it into a female. Even the governor found out. How am I supposed to live now? Will you take responsibility if it becomes known? What? You did it because we don't have much time left anyway? Taoist Yun. My apologies, governor. My ancestor, being a woman, tends to change my body every time she takes possession of it. I observe the flow of yin and yang within his body. The flow of spiritual power changes quite naturally during the transformation. Is that a special technique? My ancestor said she will explain it later. You can ask her about it afterward. Well, all right. For now, I ask him with a serious expression. The current situation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is roughly like this. The sect has been annihilated, and currently, there's probably only one survivor, John Myung-hoon. It's likely that he's not in his right mind right now. I understand that Taoist Yun's lifespan is not more than 20 years left. What do you plan to do? Senior brother John is still alive? Yes. Well then, after a moment of contemplation, he has a firm expression. I'll go see him. I need to ask what exactly happened from the senior brother who was there. Understood. I'll send you off. Since the integration stage grand cultivators from the Devil Realm will start to exert their powers soon, we'll gradually have to hand over the occupied territories anyway. I'll prepare to follow soon. Once I withdrew from the Devil Realm, I plan to inquire about John Myung-hoon as well. I'll settle the occupied territory as soon as possible, step down from the governor position, and then follow. I'll do my best within 20 years, so I hope you'll still be alive by then. It's unlikely I'll die from external pressure, not with my ancestor around. Oh, by the way, my ancestor keeps nagging that she wants to talk to you, Governor. I'll arrange for you to meet her. Shortly after, his consciousness once again fluctuates. Reports about the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect's sole survivor even reaching a core formation stage, Governor? The human race's intelligence network has developed quite a bit, hasn't it? Well, if you don't want to talk, then don't. I wasn't that curious anyway. More importantly, do you have a 4-axis puppet, or even a heavenly being one? Your puppet seems suitable for the soul to enter. Do you intend to use it as your body, Senior? Not to use it as my body, but as a trump card to exert my full power in times of emergency. Yes, I'll give you one. I readily take out a storage scroll and hand it to her. You're giving it to me this easily. She scrutinizes the storage scroll with a suspicious look. There's no trap. After all, Taoist Yun and I are friends. I just have a few questions, so please answer them. All right. Go ahead and ask. I ask with a hint of curiosity. The Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence great method that I practice, and the flow of yin and yang in Taoist Yun's body, seem to share a commonality of coexisting yin and yang flows. May I inquire about this? Such a mundane question. Crack. In an instant, as she runs her fingers through her hair, her body twists and then reverts back to the male Yun Jing. The color of the hair is reversed as well. Firstly, this gender-reversing method itself is a traditional thunder path method developed from the basics of the thunder path. Thunder and lightning arise from the exchange of yin and yang energy. It's the core of all thunder path powers. Interpreting the exchange of yin and yang as the cycle of Tai Chi, reversing the body's yin and yang to cultivate lightning powers within the body is the method of the Tai Chi thunder body. Does everyone in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect learn to change their gender like this? Not necessarily. It's just a technique I learned because it suited my taste. Sarunk. Yunwei does a twirl. Within that twirl, Yun Jin's body switches genders several times. And you mentioned similarities between your method and mine in terms of yin and yang? Well, at the nascent soul stage, one cultivates both the primordial spirit and yin spirit, so any method passing through the nascent soul stage would inherently contain the principles of yin and yang. I see. Yin and yang, as well as the concept of Tai Chi, are the fundamental principles of this world and all cultivation methods. I've heard that demon beast methods even prioritize the principles of yin and yang and Tai Chi more than the methods of the Heaven Tribe. Is that all you're curious about? For now, let's leave it at that. Good. Then we'll depart from the occupied territory and return to the bright cold realm soon. Wawoom. After finishing her words, she disappears back into Yun Jin's consciousness. Yun Jin regains consciousness and once again screams, "Ancestor, please return my body before you go. I still find it hard to control." Ah, really? After sighing, Yun Jin vents his frustrations to me for a while. He bids farewell and goes to his quarters to pack up, starting his journey back to the bright cold realm. After seeing him off, I return to the governor's office. There was a bit of commotion, but I've confirmed it from the celestial energy. It won't be long now. In about 7 months, calamity will strike. That means, given the devil race's grand cultivators make their move, the front lines will be pushed back to here in about 7 months. From today, we need to start evacuating the people from the occupied territories in coordination with the Human Race Grand Alliance. Once the evacuation is complete, the governors should be able to leave their posts. The Grand Alliance will likely issue such an order as well. And the message conveyed through the messengers of the Grand Alliance also didn't deviate much from my expectations. Except for one thing. Are you saying to retreat to the 4th occupied territory? Yes, the Human Race Grand Alliance has decided to retreat to the 4th occupied territory, slightly reducing the front line, and then proceed with a full-force battle from there. Is there a reason for that? The Grand Alliance plans to deploy the Realm Invasion Array in the 4th occupied territory, intending to assimilate at least up to the 4th occupied territory into the territory of the Bright Cold Realm. I make sense of the situation. The Human Race Grand Alliance intends to use an array called the Incursion Array to devour up to the 4th occupied territory of the territories conquered from the Devil Realm into the Bright Cold Realm. It means literally wrapping the dimensional barrier of the Bright Cold Realm around the human territory up to the 4th occupied territory and pulling the land of the Devil Realm into the Bright Cold Realm, aiming to expand the human territory by any means. Then I'm curious, there's a Void Spirit Pond in the 8th occupied territory. Considering the Void Spirit Pond can potentially be developed into a flying immortal platform, it's a strategic asset of a different dimension. Why then reduce the scope to the 4th occupied territory? Ah, Governor, weren't 3 Void Spirit Ponds discovered this time? That's right. Indeed. During this invasion of the true Devil Realm, the human race discovered 3 Void Spirit Ponds in the Devil Realm's territory, and each Void Spirit Pond was strictly protected by the governors of those regions. That's why it's even more incomprehensible. The value of the Void Spirit Pond is coveted by numerous races within the Bright Cold Realm, something not easily obtained. I heard the Human Race Grand Alliance was in uproar when 3 Void Spirit Ponds were discovered during this Human-Devil War. And all the Void Spirit Ponds are beyond the 4th occupied territory. It's true. Void Spirit Ponds are truly coveted by all races within the Bright Cold Realm, and discovering 3 during this conflict is significant. The Void Spirit Ponds are respectively located in the 5th, 8th, and 11th occupied territories. It would have made sense if they decided to retreat to at least the 5th occupied territory, but to pull back to the 4th? What? To that, The messenger of the Grand Alliance nods and replies. The human race Grand Alliance has determined it's impossible to stop the advancing integration stage devils. Therefore, the Grand Alliance has decided to use the void spirit pawns we cannot utilize as a trap. What? Soon, the Grand Alliance will send formation masters to set up the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void formation in the void spirit pawns, intending to detonate them along with the void spirit pawns when the integration stage devils arrive. The Devil Realm's devil veins will be devastated, and the void spirit pawns will be damaged beyond use, while the integration stage Grand Cultivators will also suffer significant injuries from the spatial storm. The messenger of the Grand Alliance delivers the will of the Grand Alliance with a bright smile. What could be more foolish than allowing the enemy to use resources we cannot utilize ourselves? Haha, the strategists of the Grand Alliance are truly brilliant. I have one question. Yes, please go ahead. If we detonate the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void formation in the Void Spirit Pond, won't the entirety of the territory we've occupied turn into wastelands? That's not all. The spatial storm unleashed from beyond the Void Spirit Ponds will sweep through all nearby areas, dragging everything into it. If the Grand Cultivators don't stabilize it and leave it in its natural state, this area will become uninhabitable wasteland for 1,000 years. It's a highly efficient strategy for weakening the Devil Realm's forces long-term, and if the Grand Cultivators choose to stabilize it, it will delay their advance. It's truly a highly efficient strategy. I see. Thank you for the valuable information. Then, we must start evacuating today. I press my throbbing head and attempt to stand up. An official shuffles through papers and says with a cold face, "Then, we'll proceed with the elixirization of the devil tribes in the occupied territories that we've been postponing." What? Since we no longer have any business on this land, it will be best to convert the devils into devil pills, which take up less space, for maximum efficiency. While they can be useful as pet beasts, carrying too many bulky items during evacuation can be problematic. Hold on. In my opinion, wouldn't it be better to just drive the remaining devils far away? My statement seems incomprehensible to the messenger of the Grand Alliance and the official. The messenger asks me, "Governor, what are you saying exactly?" The Grand Alliance has also issued orders for this evacuation operation to evacuate as efficiently as possible while taking Devil Realm resources. May I know why you're issuing such an order? I think as quickly as I can. The messenger from the Grand Alliance approaches me. "Governor, all your actions are periodically reported to the Grand Alliance. Even the most lenient policies you've implemented in the occupied territory have been reported under your name. Thus, there are concerns circulating within the Grand Alliance." The envoy and I lock eyes. Some worry whether you, Governor, have been swayed by the devils of the Devil Realm becoming a spy for the Devil Realm. I trust you, Governor. Please do not betray our human race. The official also approaches, presenting a document. "Governor, please make the decision quickly. Approve the elixirization process. Governor, make the right decision. We need to act quickly now. Governor, please." Amidst the pressure from those around me, I heavily open my mouth. I am caught in the torrent of conflict and dilemma. I reluctantly make my position clear. Translator notes. Donated chapter by Man of Culture, Re-D, Ko-Fi user, Fatty Daoist, Thorcido, and Clementine. Thanks for the support. Chapter 168, Those That Are Lost, too. Unable to do so. I look at the official and the messenger with a hardened face. The messenger sighs deeply. His sigh echoes long in the room. I hope there's a valid reason for this. The messenger looks at me with icy eyes. The elixirization decreases volume during evacuation, aids in the cultivation progress and recovery of the human race soldiers, weakens the devil realm in the long term, and profits the human race through the selling of devil elixirs. Your words, Governor, suggest abandoning all this to save those beasts. I hope there is a valid reason for this. Because, I take a breath, thinking for a reason in my mind. Why? Why do I want to save the devils, who are not even my kin? Why indeed? Why? The vision of a young couple getting engaged in front flashed through my mind. The sight of playing a go and sharing conversations with a tentacled being passes by. Images of the devil race living under the governor's office over the years come to mind. With all those memories of the years embedded in my mind, carrying those connections on my back, I look straight at the human in front of me and say, "Because it's the right thing to do." And the messenger's face contorts. "Did you just say it's the right thing to do? Countless soldiers who might die in this war, the countless lives. Are you saying abandoning resources that could save them is your definition of good? Wouldn't the true good be to act to save them? That's your good. It's the good of the human race Grand Alliance. Does the human race Grand Alliance represent all of humanity? Of course it does. I don't seem to be represented by them. It sounds like you're suggesting the betrayal of humanity. Isn't betrayal the very essence of evil? Listen, I'm not talking about who's on our side or theirs, or what's good or evil. I glare at him. Whether it's the human race or humanity, they are not me and I am not them. Their good is not my good, and their lives are not my life. I always feel as if I have lost a lot of important memories. But one thing always remains clear. I want to live a proper life. A life where time doesn't fly by due to regression, where all my connections and time do not disappear. And for that life, I will live my best at any given time. My good that I'm speaking to you about is the priority of my life. I won't put forward a feeble argument. My good, compared to the grand cause of humanity the messenger speaks of, may be insignificant, selfish, and merely personal arrogance. It might just be a pretense put forward by an individual. It could be foolish nonsense and flawed logic. However, this is my way of life. I won't impose my way of life on you, so don't impose yours on me. Do you not understand that being stubborn in your position itself is a form of coercion? Just leave now. Wawum. I summon the strength of General CO hidden in my shadow and speak. The important resource in this occupied territory is the Void Spirit Pond, and there are only 7 devil tribes. Compared to other territories, the number of devils here is significantly less, so even if all these tribes are converted, how many elixir pills can possibly be produced? You should return to the bright cold realm. I will do my utmost to support the remaining human race in their evacuation. I will report as such to the Grand Alliance. The two leave the room. I sigh deeply and lay down. I'm tired. By the order of the esteemed governor, the expulsion of devils living in this area is decreed. In the 8th occupied territory of the devil realm by the human race. There, numerous puppets are flying around, expelling the devils. The devils, puzzled yet determined not to be driven from their land, resisted. However, each puppet possesses the minimum strength of the core formation stage, leaving the devils no means to resist. At the governor's mansion, I take a deep breath and stare at the ceiling. Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation. I prevented the complete elixirization of the devils, but there's no room for consideration regarding the formation. If I also refuse the installation of the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation, I would truly become a traitor to the human race. The Azure Heaven Creation sect would also be marked as a sect that raised a traitor to the human race, risking collateral damage. For me, cowardly as it is, I cannot not stop the installation of the formation. Thus, there's only one solution. Relocate the nearby devils. Far, far away. The power of the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation is said to obliterate everything within a radius of 500 li, and the spatial storms it unleashes would spread in all directions, causing immeasurable damage. Cultivator Giant. I speak to the devil I brought to the governor's mansion. What is it, Lord CO? Wriggle, wriggle. The devil replies to me while clinging to the ceiling. All the humans from the governor's office have been sent back to the bright cold realm. There's no surveillance now, so to speak. I want to entrust you with the leadership of the 7 tribes and have you lead them to safety. Evacuation? Yes. The human race will soon start a massive slaughter. I can't directly mention the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation, but I decided to convey my thoughts indirectly. So, please take the devils and move as far away from the human race's occupied territories as possible. At least 10,000 li. You must move away 10,000 li. It seems the human race intends to use a powerful weapon. An attack from the peak integration stage can barely produce such a range. He asks me, his tentacles wriggling. May I know this information? If I meet the Devil Realm Alliance, I will share what you've told me with them. Saying that makes it difficult for me to release you, Cultivator Giant. I am speaking frankly because it's Cultivator CO. I have no desire to betray the Devil Realm, nor do I wish to lie to you. That's admirable. But, I look at him and say, for now, you'll have to focus on fleeing. Again, 10,000 li. That's the minimum, and perhaps, you might need to go 3 or 4 times further. So, Wawong. I unfold a storage scroll and take out several puppets. Heavenly Being stage puppets I had not given to Yunjin are all there. I'll command the puppets to help you and the devil tribes flee as far as possible. You use your mental abilities to soothe the tribes and lead them. Understood. Pluck. Cultivator Giant attaches himself to the head of a Heavenly Being stage puppet and goes outside shortly after. Soon, he will overpower the minds of the devils and forcibly drag them all outside. I've sent away most of the human race left in the occupied territory and the devils who were about to die. Soon, I will also be able to leave. Is this the best I can do? I can't tell if what I've done is the best or not. Have I done the right thing? Is there no better solution? After much deliberation, I finally make a decision. And then, I write a letter. I entrust the letter to General CO, who has been protecting me all this time, and imbue it with an instruction. Can you find your way? Deliver this to him. I decided to send the letter through General CO. General CO turns into a beam of light and flies far away. Given his speed, he should reach the target and deliver the letter within a few months. I've done all I can. Now, All that is left is for Cultivator Giant to lead the devil tribes out of this 8th occupied territory. Through the senses of the heavenly being stage puppets attached to Cultivator Giant, I can tell where he was now. He's almost out of the occupied territory. Then it's time for me to. Just then. Wawoom! Exclamation point. The entire occupied territory is enveloped in an ominous energy, covering everything. Startled by this energy, I hurry outside to look up at the sky. What is this? Kagugugu. A barrier. The sky is covered in a barrier. The entire 8th occupied territory is enveloped in dazzling rays of light, covered by a barrier emitting a rainbow of colors. That is, I locate the axis of the barrier. The axis of the barrier is the vast cold jade, embedded in the devil veins of the 8th occupied territory. The 7 devil veins existing in the occupied territory. 7 vast cold jades embedded in those places weave a heptagonal barrier. And above the barrier, a face seems to emerge. That's the messenger. No, that's not it. I ponder, thinking. You are not a mere messenger. Kagugugu. The giant face emerging above the barrier slowly opens its eyes. Your head is quite sharp-minded. It's obvious you've come to punish me, but a mere core formation stage messenger wouldn't have the authority to activate such a tremendous formation. Correct. I am Y Ryangxian, Integration Stage Grand Cultivator affiliated with the Human Race Grand Alliance. All messengers dispatched to each occupied territory and the administrators sent to each sky island of the human race belonging to the Grand Alliance. All are avatars I've painstakingly created. Exclamation point. Monitoring the movements of the entire human race is my duty. But what about you, Provincial Governor Seo Un-hyun of the 8th occupied territory? You've abandoned your sacred duty, and what are you doing now? All messages conveyed through the messenger were directly from the decisions of the Grand Alliance that I passed on to you. Setting aside wasting precious resources, are you now trying to send them outside? To release enemies who might disclose our occupied territory's secrets and strategies. Wawoom. Zing. The sound of the face gives me a headache, making it hard to stay conscious. At the same time, the urge to obey the Grand Cultivator's words and act as he wishes becomes overwhelming. Isn't what he's saying correct? Isn't that the truth? Puppet-san. However, I resist the pressure emitted by the integration stage Grand Cultivator, gathering all my strength to speak. Command has been given to delay the devils, meeting the devil army, until after the formation is activated. Crack. There will be no leak of information. Coon. I shake off Y Ryangxian's pressure with my mental strength and look him in the eyes. Moreover, I have many questions for you. You have the power to kill a weak core formation cultivator like me, but didn't you have the power to protect the Thunder Spirit Island from being destroyed by the True Immortals' attack? Claiming to be at the integration stage, but there are widespread rumors that you suffered fatal injuries or died trying to catch a glimpse of the true immortal realm. May I ask, Grand Cultivator, why you were so foolishly defeated? The surroundings fall silent for a moment. Then, Y Ryangxian speaks again. Firstly, spreading the barrier with the vast cold jade was to confine you and the devils. Since I can't be sure if what you said is true moreover, this barrier serves to confine you and also to convey my will to you. Your arrest will happen when the Formation Masters arrives to install the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation. So it only has a confining function. I look towards the direction where the vast cold jade is located. Sensing my intention, Y Ryangxian spoke in a mocking tone, thinking of destroying or pulling out the vast cold jade serving as the anchor. Unfortunately, once the formation is activated, touching the vast cold jade will only make the formation stronger. The power of the vast cold jade will surge even more, eventually becoming a powerful formation that can temporarily immobilize even an integration stage Grand Cultivator. Quite an elaborate formation just to capture a mere core formation cultivator. Not just any core formation. Based on observations through the messenger's eyes, your overall strength is judged to be at the 4-axis stage. Seems like an appropriate level of response. I fall silent for a moment. Then, I raise my head and ask him again. Why did the integration stage Grand Cultivators receive critical injuries from the True Immortal? That's because the True Immortal attacked the human race's Thunder Spirit Island, and we tried to protect it. You're lying. I open my eyes wide and speak. I am well aware of the significant distance between the heavenly human island where integration stage Grand Cultivators are and the True Immortal's descent in Thunder Spirit Island. Moreover, as someone who usually doesn't care much about what happens in each sky island, why did you make such a fuss when the True Immortal attacked? I glare at him. There must have been ulterior motives. Isn't that right? It shows. When I mention the True Immortal, greed intertwined with Y Ryangxian's consciousness writhes. Greed. And then, shades of regret, remorse, and shame become evident in his demeanor. The integration stage Grand Cultivators had something they desired from the True Immortal when they exerted their power this time. It wasn't about defending Thunder Spirit Island from the true immortal. They had something they wanted to obtain from the true immortal. And when the true immortal refused to comply with what the integration stage grand cultivators desired, they inflicted critical injuries on them and disappeared. Just by observing the colors of emotions, the story is somewhat guessable. Upon my words, why Ryong Xian silently glares at me after a moment of silence. It's not for you to know. You are to merely wait here in this barrier with the devils until the Formation Masters and the Grand Alliance's inspector arrive. This barrier requires permission from the Grand Alliance to exit from inside, while entry from outside is unrestricted. Of course, it's limited to the human race, and other races cannot enter. I'm not sure if you've truly conspired with the devils, but even if you did, there's no devil coming to rescue you. I haven't conspired, so it doesn't matter to me. Haha. That will be for the inspector to judge. Since an alchemist will be accompanying the inspector, it would be wise to convert all the confined devils into medicinal ingredients. You intend to use the devils as resources? Is there something wrong with that? Let's end this meaningless conversation here. Thump. I slumped down on the spot. Now, I am the only human race member left in this occupied territory. Then, there is only one thing left for me to do. Have you given up? After all your pointless stubbornness, well done. I'll see you at the Grand Alliance's tribunal. Former Provincial Governor Seo Un-hyun of the 8th Occupied Territory. Swoosh. After delivering his message, the face dissolves into the barrier and disappears. I've sent the letter to him. Regardless of whether the integration stage grand cultivators of the Devil Realm really arrive, given the situation, the human race won't be pushed back. At the same time, I glow with determination. I cannot let those children die. From now on, I will do everything in my power to prevent it. Wawoom. Around me, something pale and ethereal flutters, filling the space. For the past 18 years, the many connections I made in this life were recorded as artifact spirits in this technique. And as I recorded these figures, increasing the number of artifact spirits, the proficiency of the technique gradually improved. Wawoom. Now, I can record figures just by thinking of them. Swish. Spiritual energy gathers around, recording another figure. It's why Ryong Xian, who I had just conversed with. Why Ryong Xian evaluated my overall strength as being at the 4-axis stage and confined me with such a barrier. That means the inspector coming to arrest me will also be at least at the 4-axis stage. Wawong. It will take roughly 7 days for the 4-axis stage inspector from the Human Race Grand Alliance to arrive at the 8th Occupied Territory. I clench my teeth, my eyes shining with resolve. In the next 7 days, I must regain my memories. If I fail to regain my memories within that time, then, I grit my teeth. I will advance to the nascent soul stage. The moment I enter the nascent soul stage, I somehow feel that my formless sword will undergo a significant change. And surely, if the formless sword changes, I have the feeling it can cut through any barrier, no matter how solid. PZZT. I close my eyes and prepare to create artifact spirits using the nameless technique, challenging the nascent soul stage again. Here I go. Whether I turn to ashes or succeed, I will reach the nascent soul stage and protect the connections that have come into my life. Translator notes. Donated chapter by Mortar, Man of Culture, and Clementine. Thanks for the support. Chapter 169, Those That Are Lost 3. I open my eyes. TSKKKSTSKKKSTSKK. Numerous landscapes and visions pass by me. This is the life I have lived. The memories I once again see as I challenge the realm of nascent soul. Normally, average cultivators cannot challenge the nascent soul stage this many times. Without sufficient enlightenment, no matter how many spiritual elixirs one consumes, one cannot reach the nascent soul stage. However, through the formless sword, I have gained a deeper understanding of the metaphysical dimension itself. Through this, I can cultivate my soul in a clear direction. With a solid foundation of enlightenment, how many times I challenge the nascent soul stage doesn't matter. Again and again, I will challenge it. SSSHD. Until I can. Reflecting on my past lives, I continuously form artifact spirits using the nameless technique. Kim Yun, Azure Tiger Saint. Oh Hyunsuk, Yun Jin, Y Ryong Xian. The Administrator, Su In and Hong Yun. Seo Huiol, Hyan Woon, the Mad Lord. I go back through my memories, recording each character from the scenes that emerged in my mind. Simultaneously, I question the heart demon within my heart. Why am I trying to find my memories? Why am I so rebellious against the good of the Human Race Grand Alliance? What exactly is the good that I have chosen? Is what I'm doing really the right thing? What have I lost? Countless questions swirl in my mind. And those questions gather in my heart, nourishing the flesh of the heart demon. The heart demon speaks. Is it right for you to be doing this to find your memories? Is defying the good you're violating, really true justice and goodness? Where do you see that what you're doing is right? The heart devil approaches me and grasps my throat. It's just an illusion. Yet, I truly feel as if my throat is being crushed. Why are you trying to find what you've lost? Is it really worth it? Breathing becomes difficult. Wawoom. Behind me, thousands of artifact spirits appear, and I look at them, my connections from this cycle and from the last. Finally, I've manifested all the characters from the last cycle that lasted 1,000 years as artifact spirits. Not just those alive, not just those I've directly conversed with, those who merely passed through my memories, those I briefly encountered, those I've killed with the body of General CO, and countless others have all been turned into artifact spirits. My relationships with them were not significant. But over the span of 1,000 years, the countless characters accumulated in my memory were really numerous. They occupied a significant space in my memory, taking away the place of those important in my previous lives. Now, I can finally head back. Facing the heart demon, I speak. What's important I don't know. Whether I'm doing well, whether what I'm doing is right. What I want to do I've forgotten it all, but that's why. I look directly into the eyes of the heart devil and shout. That's why I must first search. I am no different from dust. No different from a bug. That's why I must know more. Whether what I'm doing is right, good, or what I want to do. I know nothing. I am but a small and insignificant speck of dust in the universe, a mere insect-like existence. But for that reason, I must carefully preserve what I once knew, to prevent any more memories from leaking away. In the face of the harsh world, with this small body, should I not cherish what I have gathered so far, ensuring nothing else slip away? Flash. I emerge from the space of my heart essence. Once again, I failed to attain the nascent soul. However, over the long years, I meticulously nurtured the memories of this life and past lives, firmly anchoring them as artifact spirits. Simultaneously, by creating countless artifact spirits, the nameless method for creating artifact spirits reached its pinnacle. Now, just one step away from perfection. The speed of creating artifact spirits has almost matched the speed of perception. As long as I can perceive it, I can immediately create an artifact spirit and record the memory. Shall we start again? Wawoom. I close my eyes and once more challenge the nascent soul stage. First day, I replicated most of the memories of the 12th cycle as artifact spirits. Second day, this time, the memories of the 11th cycle. Since the 11th and 12th cycles were relatively short, it didn't take long. Third day, I reached the memories of the 10th cycle. The 10th cycle was the most tumultuous and emotionally charged of my lives. Yanghua, the person I loved, the dance we shared at the end, the last whispers we exchanged, those emotions. From that moment, every event that took place before was replicated and recorded as artifact spirits. From completing my revenge on Yuan Li to all the moments at the end. It took a whole day to capture those memories. Fourth day, the 200 years I spent in serving Command Palace grinding my teeth against Yuan Li, the time spent stuffing cursed dolls in the centipede den, and the moments of all the figures of people I met through the cursed doll were recorded as artifact spirits. Fifth day. Finally, on the 5th day were the long yet short 10 years with her. Recording those memories, I successfully completed the documentation of the entire 10th cycle. 6th day. The 9th cycle, the 200 years I spent alone in serving Command Palace. I recorded the appearances of Co Ran and Song Jin, and the figure of Kim Young-hoon, who gave me hope at that time. And finally, 7th day, the 8th cycle. All the times I struggled to reach Chi building and beyond the path to heavens with Kim Young-hoon were contained within the artifact spirits. SSSHH. Before I knew it, countless, innumerable artifact spirits surrounded me, encapsulating the traces of my lives. When the inspector comes, I'll attain the nascent soul then. In the state of the nascent soul, I'll be able to unfold the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts in an entirely different dimension. Right after facing the heavenly tribulation, I'll disappear in front of the inspector with the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, dismantle the barrier with the formless sword, and escape with the trapped devil race. Thus, I waited for the inspector. And on the 8th day, the so-called inspector did not come. What? There is silence. The barrier is still functioning well, but that's it. The inspector did not come. I smile. Something must have happened on their way here. For me, it's a stroke of luck. Then, there's only one thing to do now. To find the rest of my memories. I smile and continue to operate the technique. Challenging the nascent soul stage again and again, I constantly reflect on the rapid flashback of my past lives. Through the technique, I continuously inscribed artifact spirits. After the 13th cycle, where I recorded 1,000 years worth of memories as artifact spirits, the speed of creating artifact spirits with the nameless technique accelerated tremendously, far surpassing the pace it had taken up till then. Thanks to that, I was able to form artifact spirits much faster while challenging the nascent soul. On the 7th day, I managed to gather the memories of the 7th cycle. starting from dying due to being struck by heavenly lightning, climbing up to the ultimate pinnacle, breaking through heavenly rejection, cultivating through qi, refining basic cultivation methods, practicing cultivation methods, and learning Taoist techniques during the qi refining stage. 10th day, the memories of the 6th cycle. Starting from the memory of dying after bowing 10 times in front of my master, going backwards. The time my master protected me as a towering, giant tree. The years I spent learning under him, laying the foundation for my cultivation. 1 life a day. The 5th cycle. Memories of protecting my disciples and reaching the 5 energies converging to the origin. The 4th cycle. Memories of my neck being severed as I reached the 3 flowers gather at the summit. The 3rd cycle. Memories of dedicating my entire life to reaching the pinnacle realm of martial arts. The 2nd cycle. Memories of training to enter the world of cultivators. The 1st cycle. Memories of living my best life, not thinking there would be another return. And at the beginning, before I knew it, the number of artifact spirits floating behind me became so numerous that it was impossible to count. Kim Young-hoon, Buk Hyunghwa, Kim Yun, Oh Hyun-suk, Chongmun Ryong, Buk Jung-ho, Song Jin, Seo Ran, Azure Tiger Saint, Chongmun Young-jin, Mad Lord, Seo Huiol, Jin Byuk-ho, Hyo Guak, Yuan Li, Mok Li Huang-cheon, Hyen Woon, Mok Li Hyun, Chongmun Gyu, Jin Lu Yun-cheon, Yun-jin, Yun-wei, Jin Yo-woon, Byuk Mun-song, Byuk Cheon-ji, Monli Min-rap. Among the enormous crowd, I finally moved towards the memory of my very first life. With every step I take, countless times are reversed. Looking back at my many lives, I gradually revive forgotten memories. Was this my life? Going back through time, moving towards memories of a distant past. There, after going back and forth, is my first memory. Memories continue to rush towards me rapidly. However, the memories of the first cycle were already fully recovered as artifact spirits through the Nameless Technique. I reached grand perfection in the Nameless Technique, so no matter how rapidly the memories rush by, I can record them. Come at me. And finally, the very first memory comes rushing towards me. Cough cough. An old man, miserably muttering earth as he reaches for the sky with his hand. The old man's emotions are transmitted to me deeply. I quickly replicate the old man as an artifact spirit. A little girl enters the room where the old man is. I recognize the girl, Ju family's daughter. Again, the scene reverses back in time. The old man's younger days, begging thieves for his life. The old man, living meagerly by picking herbs. The old man, trying hard to study and make something of himself. The old man, trying to break through life by selling homemade soap. And in his youth, Seo Eun-hyun, when he first arrived in this world. I revisit the moments of when I first fell into Ascension path. And tracing back through my memories, I delve even further into my past. Even earlier, before I came to this world. Memories transcend time, heading right after I fell into this world. The memory crossed through time, to right after I had first arrived in this world when Metsumievo Bratashara the memory is clear. Before I came to this world, climbing through the waves of memories, I finally reach memories of my homeland. One of the artifact spirits strangely crumbles and disappears, replaced by memories of being in an SUV. A landslide occurs. I don't remember much after that, possibly because I fainted. Memories of John Myung-hoon, who tormented me. Various memories with colleagues at work. The memory of being hit by a senior in the military for improperly arranging his uniform. Memories of failing to get into any universities I applied for, and going to a local college after retaking the entrance exams. High school, middle school, elementary school. Traversing back through all those memories, I finally reached the very first memory I ever had. I have never come this far before. Before reaching here, I always held on to one memory for too long, trying to create an artifact spirit from it. But now, with the method reaching its peak, I can create an artifact spirit by merely perceiving, finally reaching this point. It was me, just born. I was crying in my mother's arms. A baby. I never realized until now why the nascent soul took the form of a baby. But now I understand. As people are born into this world and cry out beneath fate, during the most pure period when one first interacts with another, the era when one's first connections are formed, the most pure origin, it is the crystallization of pure energy gathered through such determination, which takes on the form by aligning with the most pure period of a human's life. Towards that baby, reaching out to my very first moment, I can become a nascent soul cultivator. After reflecting on their lives, they would have reached out to their innocent selves. But I do not reach out right away. Instead, I look at the woman holding the baby and the man running beside her, clueless about what to do. Mother, father, no. I call them with even more intimate, more deeply ingrained words in my heart. Mom, Dad, both are smiling. Why do we cultivate the primordial spirit and yin and yang spirits in the realm of nascent soul. Perhaps it's because the purest moment is born from the existence of both yin and yang. The parents. I finally understood what I had lost. Not the memories of Earth. Not the ethics or moral concepts of a modern person. Something more fundamental. Memories of being loved. My memories of loving others were about giving love, not about receiving love. The love that is intellectually exchanged, after all, involves giving and longing from both sides. Bu Qianghua, my first love, and Kim Yun, who did not forget love for 1,000 years, were the same. The love of reason always involves yearning in return. However, there is one form of love in the world that is absolutely unconditional. I burst into tears at the threshold just before entering the nascent soul stage. My cries overlap with the cries of the newborn baby in front of me. At the same time, I feel the chains around my heart demon unraveling. Right or wrong, whether it's correct or incorrect, there's no need to judge anything with such discernment. From the moment of our birth, one receives infinite blessings and grace. The infinite heart of someone else is given to us directly. The moment we are born with that heart given to us, a person will want to give their heart to someone else. This is the nature of beings with a heart, human or otherwise. Good or evil, whether I am right or you are right. What does all that even mean? If there's a being that rightfully deserves blessings, isn't it the minimum duty to ensure they are not left in misery? I, wiping away my tears, preserve the images of my first connections as artifact spirits, and then I move forward. The name I choose for the nameless technique, combining 3 spirits technique and Devil Legion terracotta scroll, is this. Canvas of myriad forms and connections. Flash. In the very center of the golden core, the essence of my life's beginnings. The form of the baby condenses. Tist. The celestial energy shifts, and my lifespan is rewritten. Simultaneously, dark clouds begin to form in the sky. Kugugugugu. Normally, those who attain nascent soul face a golden heavenly tribulation, proclaiming to all of heaven and earth that they've obtained the nascent soul. However, my heavenly tribulation has 2 colors. In addition to the usual gold, there is a familiar blue in my heavenly tribulation. Come. I look up at the heavens with a serene expression. The pillar of light descends from the sky. Payet. I have attained the nascent soul. With this, I can break through. Treading heavens. My body becomes a sword, charging towards the heavenly punishment descending towards me. The lightning splits, the thunder is cleaved. My body does not stop there. It directly pierces through the Grand Alliance's barrier covering the sky, reaching the dark clouds of heavenly punishment and splitting the clouds in 2. Puff. Finally, I've arrived. Above the clouds, I laugh, looking at the sky of myriad colors of the devil realm. Now, I am of the nascent soul stage. Wish. Facing the wind of the devil realm, I slowly descend back to the ground. The inspector still has not arrived. With my formless sword now evolved under the influence of the nascent soul, I just need to create a hole in the barrier to escape with the remaining devils. That's what I thought. I freeze as I notice a man with a sinister appearance suddenly in front of me. In the man's left hand is a severed head, adorned with a small band on the forehead, marked with the character Inspector. The expression on the head suggests it suffered immensely at death. Facing the man's scattering, terrifying intent, who holds the inspector's head, I take a moment to compose myself before greeting him. It's been a while. John Myung-hoon. Translator notes. Donated chapter by ASDF. Thanks for the support. Chapter 170. Those that are lost 4. Gadak. John Myung-hoon stares at me. But why does his eyes not seem to belong to the living? Those eyes look akin to those of the dead. Behind those lifelessly dark eyes, something fervent seems to slumber. Overall, he appears dead and gloomy, with his hair disheveled and long. His skin has become much paler than before, with dark shadows under his eyes. He looks like a corpse, as if he might die at any moment. Yet, from this corpse-like appearance, I sense a volcano about to erupt. Right now, he is like a bomb on the verge of exploding. John Myung-hoon, are you ALRI? Whoosh. And then, the next moment, a fiery red lightning bolt strikes towards my chin. Exclamation point. I split the lightning with the formless sword enveloping my body and back away to create some distance. But in the next instant, kagugugu. As if thunder roars, he suddenly appears in front of me, extending his palm towards my face. In that instant, he literally became lightning itself. Crack boom. Around him, 7 spears made of red lightning forms, aiming at me. Above, below, front, back, left, right. The red spears aim at me from the 6 directions, and the last spear is thrown directly at me by John Myung-hoon. Virum. The last spear, transcending planes, fly towards me. Each one is as fast as lightning. But they're not actual lightning. I recognize the 6 directions and extend my hand. Zoom, 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 zoom. Boom. Just once. With a single gesture, 6 lightning spears are sliced, and I dodge the last one by moving my body. Zip! In an instant, I charge in front of John Myung-hoon and throw a punch. He tries to defend by crossing his arms, but the moment my fist touches his defense, John Myung-hoon's upper body is cleanly cleaved in half. Flash. It's a bit regrettable that our reunion and greetings turned out like this after such a long time. Zip zap. Crackle. However, from John Myung-hoon's severed body, lightning sparkles, and shortly after, his body reattaches itself. Then, John Myung-hoon, with his corpse-like eyes, spoke. Quite impressive. ? Sensing something odd, I question him. Hey, do you not recognize who I am? Clearly, his mental state is somewhat unstable. Actually, very unstable. To my question, John Myung-hoon looks at me with his dead eyes and replies. 8th Occupied Territory. Aren't you the provincial governor? I know because I tortured the soul of the inspector. I'm Seo Eun-hyun. Do you really not remember? Seo Eun-hyun. From the same place as you. Remember where you come from. The same place. At those words, John Myung-hoon suddenly clutches his head. Why? Crackle, crackle. Streams of multicolored lightning begin to flow from his entire body. Arg. Kugagugagugu. Behind him, 6 faint flags begin to appear. The 6 flags are stuck on John Myung-hoon's back, like wings. Is that a technique he learned? It seems like some sort of restriction, but the flow of spiritual energy is quite natural, suggesting it's simply characteristic of his own technique. After screaming and emitting lightning in all directions for a while, he calms down. And then, those corpse-like eyes look at me once more. Seo Eun-hyun. Yes, I remember. He smirks. It's been a while. Ever since facing that, my mind hasn't been right, hence the disgraceful behavior. Try to understand, will you? That. Shut up. Just shut it. I'll kill you. Definitely. I'll grind and chew you into bits. Kugagugagu. John Myung-hoon's eyes tremble erratically, and he begins to rampage. Lightning strikes all around, and I dodge them while taking a moment to observe him. Fortunately, John Myung-hoon stabilizes after a while. Looking back at me with a gloomy expression, he opens his mouth again. Well, no need for any chit-chat. I came looking for you, provincial governor of the 8th Occupied Territory, Seo Eun-hyun. What's the matter? Did a disciple of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect named Yunjin come by the 8th Occupied Territory? Where did he go now? Yunjin? If you mean Yunjin. He said he was going to the mainland of Bright Cold Realm to find you. The mainland? Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, John Myung-hoon bursts into mad laughter at my words. Ha ha ha. The mainland. He went to the Bright Cold Realm. Are you saying we missed each other? Tears stream from his eyes. Why? Why the hell? Why is this happening? Kugagugagu. From John Myung-hoon's body, crimson lightning bursts forth. Look, John Myung-hoon. Calm down and... Enough! Before I can say anything more, John Myung-hoon screams, scattering red lightning in all directions. Let them all die? Everyone. All of them. Kugagugagu. What? Lightning strikes envelop the area. Everything on this land. All of it. Worthless. All of it die. It isn't about the color of John Myung-hoon's lightning. His consciousness itself is drenched in a bloody red hue. Rage. He is violently spewing out his anger like molten lava. Hold on a moment. Simultaneously, the lightning he scatters starts to split and directly penetrate the barrier. So letting in the human race means all the techniques performed by the human race also get through. I swiftly move with the flying escape technique inside the barrier, blocking all the falling lightning with my formless sword. Below, I can see the devil race, still trapped, bustling about. If even one of those lightning bolts hit where the devils are, it would be total annihilation. Kugugugu. Thunder and lightning violently erupts from John Myung-hoon. But still, if it's only that much, I can find a gap and subdue him. SHHHHHH. The next moment, the head of the inspector that John Myung-hoon is holding turns to ashes and scatters. From the 6 flags embedded in his back, a purple flag is pulled out and melts into his lightning. As one flag is removed, the quantity and quality of the lightning bursting from his body drastically increases. Is this? Each strike is equivalent to a late nascent soul stage cultivator's attack. Kung. And then, another flag is pulled from his back. A blue flag is removed and melts into his lightning. Kugagugagu. I grit my teeth. The lightning grows even stronger. Considering the inspector was a 4-axis stage cultivator, killing him means, if all the flags are pulled out, he will reach power equivalent to the 4-axis stage. It seems like a consumable power, but the explosiveness is absurdly high. It's likely to end in a short-term battle rather than a long one. Keep calm. I compose myself and contemplate the nascent soul I have just acquired. The concept of planes began to become visible. That's right. Upon reaching the nascent soul stage, every cultivator realizes a certain truth. which aligns with the enlightenment of a nascent soul cultivator and also aligns with the laws of the world. Qi is essentially intent. There are high and low planes in this world, and these planes are broadly divided into three categories. The plane of Qi, which has a profound impact on the material and life force of the world. The plane of soul, guiding the direction of all things from a position higher than Qi's plane. And even higher in a remote place, the plane of fate, guiding the truths of the world. The world is made of these three planes. Depending on the dimension's hierarchy, existence manifests as Qi, soul, or fate. Essentially, Qi, soul, and fate are the same. This aligns with the enlightenment of beyond the path to heavens. All manifestations are one. That is, heaven, earth, and man are one, the principle reached by beyond the path to heavens. Similarly, all essences are fundamentally one. It's just that the manifestation varies depending on the level of the dimension. Yes, now I understand why all the races in the bright cold realm are categorized into three. Why the heart tribe, far from reaching the heights of the heaven tribe and earth tribe, are included among the three great tribes. It isn't merely about vision. The earth tribe gathers spiritual energy to the extreme within the plane of Qi and builds up their cultivation, while the heaven tribe directs their rituals towards the plane of fate, elevating their existence towards it. The heart tribe roams freely within the plane of soul. It's only after I became aware of the planes that I finally understand how humans cultivate to become true immortals. From the plane of Qi to the plane of fate, elevating one's existence from the Qi-born mortals to the realm of fate, becoming what is known as a true immortal. I grasped the principle behind the creation of nascent soul, gathering pure Qi from the plane of Qi and ascending to the plane of soul, merging the soul and Qi. No, that's not it. Spiritual energy and the soul are originally one. They are just divided differently according to the hierarchy of planes. Elevating spiritual energy, crossing the hierarchy of planes to connect with essence. That is the nascent soul. Thus, Qi is indeed intent. Why is it necessary to cultivate spiritual power and mystical abilities and learn techniques for mental cultivation? Why does gathering energy increase a cultivator's consciousness along with their realm? Qi is both the soul and intent. They are essentially the same, hence such phenomena occurred. Aha, now I finally understand. Back in the day when I just became a peak master, I saw red lines even from Jiangshi. But upon surpassing the peak, I felt that theoretically, Jiangshi, not being living creatures, shouldn't have red lines of intent. Why did I see red lines of intent even from Jiangshi without consciousness? Because energy is consciousness, even if Jiangshi lack souls. If they possess Qi, they can possess feigned intent. Now I see more clearly than before. The planes of Qi and soul are distinctly separated. With the vision of demon beasts seeing the flow of spiritual energy, combined with the vision of beyond the path to heaven seeing the color and essence of intent, I can delve deeper into the essence of the world than before. They merge. Upon realizing that Qi and intent are the same, the visions I had gained from demon beasts and beyond the path to heavens slowly melds into one. The colors of intent merge with the yin and yang of spiritual energy, creating an indescribable metaphysical landscape. I look up at the sky. Still, the vision of reading celestial energy from the heaven tribe hasn't melted into this vision. Upon becoming a true immortal, becoming fate itself, will that sight merge into this vision? The source of life, spiritual energy. The source of mind, heart essence. The source of fate, celestial energy. What will be seen in a vision that combines all of that? After briefly imagining it, I focus my sight and glare at John Myung-hoon. His power is becoming stronger. But I see it. Calmly organizing my enlightenment and adjusting my vision, I begin to see the pattern of heaven and earth. The pattern of heaven and earth mixed with human consciousness, birthing all processes under the name of supernatural abilities. In that process, the numerous vulnerabilities of opponents are seen. A vision only I, having both the sight of demon beasts and treading heaven, can see. Wawoom. I aim the formless sword at the precise gap of the lightning John Myung-hoon is emitting. Chwack. The lightning is split right through. At the same time, I can almost predict where John Myung-hoon's thunderbolts will head next, and within that foresight, I find gaps in his attacks. Shall we dance? I hold the formless sword and begin to perform a sword dance in the void. With the sword dance, the formless sword scatters. What a monstrous power it is to traverse planes. Only after reaching the nascent soul stage do I realize the magnitude of this power. To disregard the planes of Qi and soul, and to be able to slice through nascent soul without any constraints is a dreadful monstrosity. That is the formless sword. And now, I finally obtained the eyes to properly wield this monstrosity. If the pure spiritual force obtained during the Qi building stage supplies infinite energy to beyond the path to heaven, The eyes obtained in the nascent soul stage precisely guides where beyond the path to heaven should head. They complement each other. Added to this, the physical strength obtained through body cultivation, the formless sword, drawing on the power of the plane of Qi, possesses overwhelming dominance and transcends to a higher plane, cutting through the essence of the lightning in its very dimension. Churuk. An azure flag is pulled from John Myung-hoon's back. Now, every single lightning strike is of the heavenly being stage. However, with the strength of the physical body, the eyes of the nascent soul, and the capabilities of the formless sword combined, my formless sword precisely hits the weak points of John Myung-hoon's lightning, slicing through it directly. Slice. Shall we see how far it goes? Boom, 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 boom. Stepping forward, I draw a circle around me with my sword. His lightning continues to gradually grow stronger. It starts to require slightly more effort to slice through the lightning. In other words, until now, slicing through lightning of heavenly being stage required no effort at all. Kung, kung, kung. Green and yellow flags are simultaneously pulled from John Myung-hoon's back, and each of his lightning strikes elevate to the level of heavenly being great perfection. Kwong. At that point, my sword feels heavier. Despite finding his weakness, wielding the sword that cuts through everything with the powerful force of the physical body, there's a limit when the power gap becomes too great. However, I smile, deciding to test my limits now that I have reached the nascent soul stage. Gradually, greater strength begins to attach to my formless sword. The sword dance becomes faster. This is the state of foolish old man moves mountains. Woogwoogwoog. I continue to channel the strength of John Myung-hoon's lightning into my formless sword, repeatedly reflecting its force. Though the strain on my entire body gradually intensifies, the realm of nascent soul combined with the physical body tempered through body, refining tightly holds together what should have ended in an explosion. Kwong kwong. The barrier laid out by Wai Ryangxian is trembling from our clash. Gradually, the colorless sword begins to push back against the red lightning. Pook. Finally, the last orange flag is pulled from John Myung-hoon's back, melting into the lightning. Kururung. The already red lightning shines even more violently red as it shoots towards me. The lightning directly cuts through space. This might be a bit too much, but still. I look up at the sky with a smirk. Let's give it a try. Kugaguguruk. Stars swirl around my entire body. Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence, great method. I utilize the starlight and blue light to the extreme, infusing these energies into my formless sword. Wawoom. The formless sword dies with starlight. TSDSSDSSDSSD. My formless sword becomes a strand of the Milky Way. What I hold is no longer emptiness. The galaxy. A small Milky Way is held in my hand. The ultimate technique of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence, great method. The technique of Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter, finely tuned to the extreme and blown into the formless sword, releasing all the power in my body in one strike. At this moment, I feel like there is nothing I cannot cut through. PHSHHHHH. With foolish old man moves mountains, the attack power of the formless sword soars to the extreme, and with the added power of Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter, it sweeps the sky clear. That is the end. Whoa. The baptism of red lightning that covered the sky is swept away in one go. I smile and spit out a mouthful of blood. Using foolish old man moves mountains is fatal. Or, it used to be. Curse, reversal. Pwah. The pressure of foolish old man moves mountains that filled my body is all redirected back to Yuanyu. Pook. Down below, Yuanyu, who had been protecting the devil race from getting swept away by my command, explodes as a cursed doll. His body, having reached the core formation great perfection, took on all the load that had been on me. Wawoom. Then, Yuanyu quickly rises to our location and lifts a skull staff towards John Myung-hoon, who is unable to regain his senses after spilling all the lightning. TSRRRK. His vital energy is sucked into Yuanyu. Gradually, Yuanyu absorbs Jae Myung-hoon's energy, regenerating his exploded body. John Myung-hoon staggers and falls below the barrier, drained of energy by Yuanyu. Wish. I have Yuanyu catch him and bring him slowly down to the ground. Hey, John Myung-hoon. I ask him, who had unleashed all his power along with his madness in one go. Are you okay? John Myung-hoon looks at me and says, shut up. What? Don't pretend to understand. He clenches his teeth. Kill me. If I recover my strength, I will kill all living beings in this area without exception. Fury blazes in his eyes. No matter how much I pour out, this pain and rage doesn't subside. My heart feels like it's burning. I can't stand it unless I kill everything in sight. So if you want to stop me, kill me now, Seo Eun-hyun. Calm down. Anger is not resolved by killing others. You. He shouts and lunges at me, angrily grabbing my collar. What do you know? Have you ever lost a lover right before your eyes? Have you experienced being helpless as your teacher, friends, loved ones, and all acquaintances are swept away like insects by an unstoppable entity? Do you know the misery of being unable to do anything as your precious ones die? What do you know about me? Shut up. Just shut up. Tears of blood flow from John Myung-hoon's eyes. I've lost everything. Kururum. From his body, red lightning bursts out once more, sweeping the surroundings. Donated chapter by ASDF. Thanks for the support.